Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that, for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We've got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are live. Welcome, boys and girls, to the Dropshot of Call of Duty podcast, episode number 300. Holy shit, man. We did it.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. Welcome to the show, listeners. 300 entire episodes. Today, on this fine Saturday evening, Tanner and I will probably not be talking about COD. So here's your spoiler alert if you're a new listener. If you listen for COD content, give this one a skip. Give this one a fucking skip, because we might talk about COD. We probably will, tangentially. But that is not the focus of today's episode. Today's episode, the focus is my favorite fucking topic. Me, dude. Us. Myself. The program.
Stop.
That's the topic today.
I prefer patch notes. Well,
everyone's favorite topic is themselves, I'm told. Which is probably true. Anyway, welcome to the show. Today, so yeah, that's real and true. Episode 300. What is on the docket this evening is a fan service episode. So we're gonna the plan, which we're not going to adhere very strictly to, we'll figure it the fuck out for sure, is gonna be start off. We have some announcements, nothing crazy, and then talking about reflecting, a look back on the journey thus far. And then, if we still have the inclination, we will answer some questions. So it'll be like a little hybrid Q&A episode. But
yes,
we may or may not do that. Depends how long we're going to talk about our podcast for. But once again, yeah, if you listen for Call of Duty content, just come back 301, man. Or go re-listen to 299. It was a good, fun, and exciting episode. That I actually quite enjoyed. We learned a lot about the new map. But
we did. Fuck
the new map today. Today we're talking about ourselves. How does it feel, Tanner? We did it. 300 episodes.
Yeah, it feels that's a lot, man.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot. We have to be probably two of the dumbest people on the internet to talk about COD for that long.
And yet still somehow there are thousands dumber than us who listen, you know?
Yeah, who is dumber, the listeners or us? That is the question.
Well, I'd say the listeners, you know, we're getting the analytics.
Yeah.
They're getting what? This drivel in their ears?
Yeah, I guess, man. I don't know.
Could be us though. It's hard to say. It's we could do an IQ test.
Only two young men as smart as us could talk about COD for that long.
Surely.
Other people have tried. They've lasted double-digit episodes before they give up.
Actually true.
They realize how bad the game is and give up. Yeah, we'll make it work.
The Call of Duty podcast attrition rate is astronomically high.
Everyone starts a weekly pod and ends after a few months usually.
It is funny to see that and how true it is, actually. I think we just nailed the formula. Because, like, when we started, I remember we looked up Call of Duty podcasts. There were, like, maybe 3 that were listed on iTunes or whatever. And none of them were still being added to. Like, none of them.
Oh, none of them had an episode in months, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They had just started and stopped.
Yeah.
And we just never stopped. That's what they say about
just keep running. That's what they say.
Just keep it going. Yeah. And we did keep it going, and maybe we'll continue to do that.
It's possible.
Depending on how many new patrons and donations we get this evening, of course.
Depending on season 2, for sure, yeah.
And, well, I will not be hitching my trailer to fucking Infinity Ward. Yeah, we'll see. What was I going to say? But yeah, I think we nailed the formula. For those of you who have not been listening since episode 1, which I suspect is most of you, we started this podcast doing 1 episode a week, and we would talk about patches combined with some Saturday topics sometimes.
That didn't last very long, though, did it?
It didn't last very long. It was maybe, yeah, it probably wasn't even 20 episodes, actually, huh?
I feel like it was like that lasted like 2 weeks.
Like 10? Yeah. Well, that would be episode 3 then.
I think like it was pretty early, man. I feel like it was.
I think it was longer. I think it was
I could go all the way back and check it out for sure.
You could figure it out for sure, yeah. But yeah, it just quickly became untenable, obviously, because we would there would actually be a patch that week. We would talk about it for an hour and a half. This is after having worked a 9-hour day at our jobs, and then we would start talking about whatever our topic was, like, you know, Warzone first impressions or whatever, and it was just quickly became untenable. So then we started doing 2 a week, and that structure has remained. We used to do Wednesday Saturdays, actually. Then we went to Thursday Saturdays because Activision started doing all their patches on Thursdays, which is annoying because I think the Wednesday Saturday spacing is still way better, actually. But I mean, we can do about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It
wasn't working out.
To the afternoons. It just wasn't working out because we would have like a patch notes pod talking about 6-day-old patch, and then the next day a new patch would come out, and then we wouldn't talk about it for another 6 days. It was shit. But anyway, we'll get more into the kind of the background. But first, a couple of announcements. First of all, I'm a Remy boy, and I don't know if you guys knew that.
You don't even like it, so you can just stop.
I don't like it, no, but
yeah, man, for sure.
I am a Remy boy. So
you are a bitch.
Let me tell you a little story about the Remy.
We don't want to hear it.
1738. 2 days ago, I think, or was it yesterday? No, it was yesterday. Yeah, I texted my mom and I said, "Hey, bitch, if you're gonna be out today, can you pick me up a bottle of bourbon?" And then she didn't reply. Cool. Thanks.
Stop. I have a question already.
Okay.
Was she home when you texted her?
No.
Okay. No. So she was already out and about. Okay.
She was doing something. Yeah.
There's no way you're texting her when she's sitting out there on the couch asking her if she's going out today. Okay.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not that insane.
Would, but...
I would. That's a fair question. Anyway, yeah, she doesn't reply. And then she knocks on my door like a couple hours later. And I'm like, yeah, come in. So she walks in with a fucking leather briefcase. I swear to God. It's like a nuclear football. She walks into my room and she just sets it on the floor and opens it without saying anything. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then inside of it is like this really nice little fucking briefcase with 2 bottles of Remy Martin 1738.
1738. Is that the
and
song?
She was like, hey, what's up? Hello. And then she said, would this work for you? And I said, I guess. Sure. Yeah. Where the fuck did you get that? And she's like, I don't know. We've had it forever. We found it when we were packing shit to move. So your dad doesn't like brandy, so you might as well try it. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then this morning she got me a bottle of bourbon anyway, which I might be drinking. So spoiler alert, by the way, brandy is mid. It's fine.
Well, yeah, you're not an 85-year-old woman.
Worse than bourbon. Yeah.
Better than scotch, you say, though. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, scotch is too boring. Bourbon is the best liquor, obviously.
Scotch is the IPA of whiskey, in my opinion. It gives you like...
That's an interesting take.
It slaps you in the face, but it doesn't taste good. That's what it does for me, at least.
Interesting.
That's how I would describe it. Not good for sure. Yeah.
Scotch is not bad. It's just not good. Yeah, it's just boring. That's how I feel about it.
Rye is good. Rye is good at times. Rye is That punches you in the gut. You got to be careful with the rye. You just gotta.
Interesting.
Very strong.
I don't know. I don't pay too much attention beyond what it's called,
You've had
bourbon.
rye, right?
I've had rye whiskey, yeah, for sure.
Rye's like the peppery tasting
I just couldn't tell you what one it is or whatever, but
yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I didn't know liquor came in fucking briefcases. It was very weird. So, now you guys know.
Smacked her over the head with the bottle. Told her, go get me some bourbon, bitch.
I think I should. Yeah, I think
go
that's
out
still
there right now and do that.
Hey, don't say that like it's not still in the cards, because it absolutely is.
Yeah,
but especially with how dog shit it tastes. This is apparently like pretty expensive brandy, and it's just fine. It's mid. It's uninteresting.
How dare she bring something into your room that doesn't taste good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, correct. Exactly. It's insane. So I'll be switching that out for bourbon after I finish it, and I will be finishing it, obviously. But anyways, yeah, we're drinking. Welcome to the show. Couple other announcements. We got some fun and exciting little donations in anticipation for episode 300, which is tonight, obviously. First one is from Aussie Boy, Aussie Menace, longtime listener, friend of the pod. Friend of the bod. Said, can't tune in live, as he's here live, by the way.
He's here live
so here's a fundraiser contribution from the longest lasting consecutive Damascus patron. True. The king. The absolute longest running.
The royalty.
The reigning, defending champion of consecutive Patreon Damascus membership months. Aussie Menace. With a 20 United States dollar donation offline. Thank you very much, King. We appreciate it. That is very kind of you. Tanner, was this real dollars or Australian dollars?
I think those were real dollars, yeah.
Okay, that's good. Because if it wasn't, then we would edit this out, obviously. That's clear.
It shows up as real dollars, so yeah, I'm not really sure.
Good. Fantastic. Ozzy, thank you very much, dude. We appreciate your long time patronage. Very kind of you. And thank you for the donation. Also, we had another donation. This was like on Tuesday, and I just missed it and forgot to include it on Thursday, so sorry. But Pat also donated 20 United States dollars offline. There was no message attached. So he just wanted to give us some cheddar, which I respect and appreciate. Pat, thanks very much, dude. Very kind of you. Sorry I forgot you on Thursday, but I'm getting to you now, and I appreciate it.
Pat's in Maui, if that is the same Pat.
It could be.
Maui Pat.
Maui Pat. Howie.
Yeah, if he can afford to go to Maui, that donation should have been 2,000 instead of 20, but we'll let it slide this time, of course.
That's kind of true, yeah. And maybe 20 is a little too pithy for someone going to fucking Maui. So fuck you, Pat. I take it back. I'm glad. Hey, I'm glad I forgot it on Thursday, and I'll edit this out. Spit gif. Thank you, Pat. And last and most importantly, we got another nice little contribution from Robert JDC. He's an author.
Yeah, JDC. That works.
Robert JDC. Why do authors do that? Like George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, why do they do
you're
that?
an old white guy. You don't have two middle names.
Yeah, what are you doing? What is his
You're
middle
just making
name?
it up.
What is his actual middle name?
God,
it's a great
he's
question.
An ugly
man.
He's old. He's super old.
George Raymond Richard Martin. Is there a whiter piece of shit name than that?
That's a real white name, but also
damn.
Why do you have two middle names?
Oh, he wrote Game of Thrones in 96. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Jesus Christ. That's
I don't read.
Book. Yeah, imagine reading in 2023.
Yeah, reading's an anachronism. Yeah, reading should die. Yeah, fuck reading. Yeah, but every author, dude.
Yeah.
Who's the transphobic bitch? What's her name?
Tolkien.
Tolkien, no. Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Oh my god, why can't I think of it? Tolkien's the Lord of the Rings nerd,
Lord
right?
of the Rings, yeah, that's a little
same
different.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
He's probably also transphobic if he was alive.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. Your name's a joke.
Yeah.
Why are we all doing this?
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't get it.
Don't read
But
books.
Tolkien was, didn't he have a stupid name? What was his name?
Tolkien, for sure.
Well, it ends with Tolkien.
J.R.R. Tolkien? No, it's not.
Yeah,
it is.
no.
Holy. It is. J.R.R.
No.
Tolkien, yes.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Oh my God. Yeah, you guys need to.
John
if any of
Ronald
you write
Reel.
Books, which none of you do, don't do that. Put your
Jesus
whole
Christ.
fucking name or don't. I don't know, man. It's cringe. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rob, he gave us a contribution. Crap on a cracker on Discord, he says. I've been a listener since EP 130 about. I remember my initial impression being, man, these guys really dropped a pod to shit on a dude named. Easily now a top 3 pod in my rotation. Let's
make that number 1.
Don't give me a backhanded compliment again, bitch. Say you're my favorite podcast or shut the fuck up. That's my recommendation. Congrats on 300 boys stumble. And with it, 100 absolute United States dollars.
We should refund
shit,
him,
man.
Since we're not number 1.
Well, let's not get too crazy.
Yeah,
Rob!
I guess that's true.
That's very fucking generous. Thank you for that contribution. Yeah, it would be a weird time for your first episode to be the incident episode. The truth about to be your first episode. That would be an interesting foray into this podcast because it really doesn't represent what we do here. We can get into that if you guys want.
No, yeah, and I don't want to, but no.
We could, but yeah, that was kind of a one-off. That would be weird for your first listen, but glad you enjoyed it, Pig. And I'm glad you stuck around, man. Episode 130, that must have been like a year and a half ago.
Episode 130, yeah.
It's a long time ago. It's a long time, and he's still kicking. So.
He is still kicking.
Rob, thank you very much, dude. $100 is super generous. I really appreciate that. Thank you again, brother. And also Ozzy, of course, and Pat, thank you guys as well for the very kind and generous donations.
Yes.
We appreciate that. Speaking of donations, by the way, we were thinking of, but got too lazy to set up a donation goal for this evening for the live stream for some YouTube features.
Yeah, we haven't done that on YouTube, so we weren't really sure how to do it, and then we just didn't. You were on hold on a phone call for a good 4
shout out to
hours
Fidelity,
today. So.
By the way. It wasn't their fault, to be fair, but yeah, there was a discrepancy with my account. So this is actually kind of related to Call of Duty, funny enough. I saw a tweet from Jake Lucky. I think that's his name, right?
Oh yeah, shout out to Jake Lucky. Not shout out to Jake Lucky. The Keemstar.
The Twitter.
He's Keemstar 2.0.
He's the gaming Keemstar, yeah. So he tweeted a candle chart for the last year of FaZe Clan, which is a publicly traded company. And he was like, for the first time ever, FaZe Clan stock is like less than $1 per share, which it used to be, at least this year, all-time high was like $25 a share. So I was like, oh, I'm going to buy all of it. So I deposited $300 into my account, my investment account, and I bought up some FaZe stock, thinking surely if it used to be $25 and it's now 75 cents, it'll probably settle somewhere in the middle. Now, I have no idea if that's true or not. I didn't realize how new it was, how recently it had become publicly traded, but I was thinking there's a lot of upside here potentially. So I bought some stock. And then there was an issue. I deposited 300, but only 225 was available. I was thinking, what the fuck's going on? So eventually I called them and they said, yeah, TD Ameritrade fucking charged you a $75 fee 2 years ago. And
Jesus
it's just
Christ.
now being incurred. So, that's why we did that. So I said, okay, that's fair. So anyway, I bought a lot of FaZe stock. You think it's going to bounce up, Tanner? What do you think? You're a big stock market guy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Come to me if you have any stock market questions. You buy low and you sell high. You make a lot of money that way.
Stonks.
Isn't FaZe like going under? Haven't people been saying FaZe is like broke or something?
I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe.
yeah, their stock has tanked. Holy shit.
It's crazy.
It's just
I know.
constantly going down. Yeah.
I know.
Miserable. You made a little bit of money though. It was like 70 cents at one point. Now it's like $1, 102. That's good, man. You made a few cents on it. That's cool.
So far, I'm up 30. Well, this afternoon I was up $30 total.
Nice, man. That paid for your Burger King dinner.
It might have.
Maybe.
It did actually.
Not, actually.
It did if I cashed out. But
you should cash out now.
No.
I expect it to go back up for sure, but I don't know. They're always running.
I think it'll go not to 25, but I think it'll go somewhere.
They're always running some sort of crypto scheme, so they'll figure something out. I think.
They'll rug pull some other dumb shits. They'll make a phase coin, do a rug pull. Their stock price will go up, and that's what I'm going to get out. Yeah, $10 a share, a little 10x.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point of course of all of that is, we were going to do a donation goal for tonight for some YouTube features, meaning YouTube live badges, emotes, although I think we have some emotes already, but mainly badges and some other things we need for YouTube. I don't really know how much money we would need for that, frankly, so we were just going to do a little $300 donation goal, but we haven't set up a donation goal before for YouTube. And we didn't feel like figuring it out this afternoon. I woke up late and then I was entangled. So we didn't. But in our hearts and minds, there's still a donation goal of $100,000. So give us money. That's what I would say.
That's what we set it as for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. On the topic of announcements, any other announcements? So I'll start by saying this. On episode 100, we had plenty of announcements for big, new, exciting things taking place in our corner of the internet. This is obviously, it should be obvious by now, not going to be that type of episode. Episode 100, I mean, I went from being, part-time to full-time podcaster, XD. That was a big deal. We announced we were having TGD on, which was a huge deal. We announced that we were going to start working on a website, which was a big deal. And we did a big donation drive for that, which we got an insane amount of money for, which I still find unbelievable, by the way. And there might have been, I think we announced a tournament as well. So none of those things are, there's nothing like that happening now. I mean, since then, Tanner and I are now both full-time podcasters. We have a website. There isn't some huge undertaking to be had. And the next big thing that would be the equivalent of like a website would be a literal studio that like Tanner and I actually go to, like a physical space to record. And we are not there yet. That is just not in the cards yet. So nothing crazy like that going on. On the topic of a tournament, though, Tanner is more interested in this idea than I am. And we will not be announcing any details or a timetable tonight. But I guess now we can talk about it a little bit. What are you thinking for a tournament? Because I remember you being a little more open to it than I was. Am I correct on that?
Well, I would like to do a tournament in either... Well, one of the first things... we wanted to do this months ago, actually. We talked about this before MW2 came out. We want to do a gunfight tournament again. That could be fun, and gunfight's just still not in the game. We've heard no rumors of it coming in Season 2. We don't know if it'll ever come. They don't care about multiplayer anymore. Warzone has completely destroyed Call of Duty multiplayer forever, unfortunately. So I don't know if we'll ever see that. That was the first idea. And the second idea...
That was the first idea.
Was the small map, or some sort of resurgence tournament. So that could be in the cards, depending on if we get customs for it right away, how that works. If there's not a gun that kills in 200 milliseconds and the next closest gun kills in 800 milliseconds. If there's any sort of balance to the game and there's a small map, I think that would play best. We're not ever doing an Al Mazrah tournament because we've done them before on the big map on Mini Royale. They're just, I don't know. They're not that exciting. Actually, the Mini Royale Caldera one was okay.
That one was actually way better than I expected.
Fun.
That was really fun.
Yeah, that was
but
fun.
You're right. The Verdansk one was shit.
Yeah. So hopefully like a resurgence thing could come. We would love to do that. We'll wait and see what happens when season 2 comes out. See if we have customs for it. They probably won't add the customs for that map for till what? Maybe December or something. So we'll let you guys know. Episode 400 maybe we'll be ready to do tournament.
That's the thing. You brought up some good points that are obvious, but I hadn't thought of them.
We're waiting
even
on
if we wanted to do a tournament, we actually couldn't, unless we wanted to do a multiplayer tournament.
Yep.
But I don't think any of you guys listening would want to do that. Like
people would want to do gunfight for sure, but like sixes
gunfight,
or 3v3 multi, yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. We did our very first tournament actually was a gunfight tournament. I enjoyed that one the most.
Yeah, gunfight I think is the best for a tournament.
I think if we were to get gunfight and custom like resurgence around the same time, I would lean toward gunfight, honestly, as our next community tournament, which I think could be a lot of fun. But yeah, now that Tanner brings all that up, even if we wanted to do a tournament and announce it today, we couldn't, because neither of those features are in the fucking game yet.
Yeah.
So maybe we will be doing a tournament. We probably will if they add them, like Tanner just said.
Yeah.
You know, if we don't get this shit until fucking December, then okay. I mean, maybe we reevaluate at that time, but until then,
maybe we'll
obviously,
be doing a Hogwarts pod by then. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing we can do.
Sure.
So, yeah. Other than that, as far as things on the horizon for the podcast, nothing crazy, to be honest with you. If you're a casual listener or you're a longtime listener, but you're not a Damascus patron, we talk a lot about the future of the program in our behind the scenes episodes we do every month. And we've been talking about, every month kind of what's next. And right now it's just a lot of little administrative things next. Setting up the YouTube, optimizing that, making a couple little changes to the absolute oh my god, what was I saying? Website, etc. That's kind of all we've got right now. I mean, I want to start working on some shorts more. I want to maybe look into an editor. I need to check some DMs on that topic. But nothing insane,
Yeah.
I mean, the big thing, like I've been saying for 2 years now, is that I think the bottleneck to us growing is just people knowing we exist. So that's kind of where my focus is right now. At least in terms of things I'm thinking about, is getting what can we do to get more people to know the podcast exists and to try listening to a single episode. And if we can get someone who plays COD to listen to an episode of our podcast, they'll like it usually. That's actually how I feel. So I think that is where our focus will continue to be. We actually have a home now, we have the website, we have the YouTube. They're well optimized fairly, they're well established fairly. So now it's not really about setting up home base so much as getting people to come in, So that's kind of where where my head's at as far as things in the future. But there's no crazy fucking production planned or anything. We're just going to keep going, man. And growth's been fine. And we got a huge spike when MW2 came out, which we've retained some of. We're doing very well. We've never been bigger in terms of, by any metric, we've never been bigger. So things are going fine. I would just like to speed that up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, things are going well,
Yeah. I think Drexler's onto something with the DMZ crowd. Old and dying, but they have jobs. True. Yeah, that's a bunch of people have been asking. I had originally said I wanted to do a DMZ episode before season 2, but at this point, I don't think we even will, because we may as well just wait for the changes to come out, season 2 to come out, and then give our thoughts on that. So I think we'll go from there, because I had thought we'd do like a Patreon episode, but I'm not sure, because that could definitely be a Saturday episode once we play more of it. We will definitely be playing DMZ though come season 2, whether that's a Patreon episode, Saturday episode. We will do it. I know a lot of you have been asking for it. At this point, it actually seems like we have more DMZ players in Discord than Warzone players at the moment, because so many people have just stopped playing Warzone for now. So, but yeah, have we talked about that plugin? Have you seen that OBS plugin that converts clips to vertical for short form?
I saw Jake's message and I wrote it in our board meeting document.
Yeah. I had favorited some tweets already. Drunk Kev from Power GPU had tweeted some things out about it. Because it sounds like you have it running at the same time as OBS, and then like you essentially just go back on the recording and it's already vertical and everything, and you can just like clip something out. I don't know. So if that could save us some time on shorts,
I'm super curious.
Yeah, that could be interesting to do as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get some YouTube shorts going for sure.
Yep. Yeah, because YouTube Shorts also just got monetized. Our YouTube Shorts are monetized. I got an email about it. So if we got, I don't know how the structure would be, but still, even I wouldn't even be interested in it for the ad revenue, really. I just for the exposure more than anything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, DMZ is interesting, man, because we do have a way bigger DMZ player base than I thought we had, even in our own community. You had brought that up maybe 2 weeks ago, when I had said something like DMZ is trash and no one plays it.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of pushback in our own Discord, which is interesting. It is a shame that season 2 is so close in that respect, because you're right. I don't want to invest in DMZ right now, like 10 days before the new season. Yep. I think it would be a waste. But I'm also not going to want to play DMZ on day 1 of fucking season 2.
Exactly.
However, I think we need to make a more concerted effort, maybe early March, to like really give DMZ a fair shake, because way more of our listeners like it than, we originally thought. Yeah. I think that is going to be a pretty concrete plan. So for you DMZ players, expect some DMZ content in about a month.
Yeah, and I think, really, I think we should give it more of a chance. I'm way more open now, especially now that Warzone 2 is just, boring, essentially. Not much to do. Nothing to grind for,
ranked, really. Man. Yeah.
We need ranked badly, yeah. So that makes us a lot more willing to play through. And like you had talked about on, I think it was behind the scenes, probably for January, you had said, like, by the time season 2 comes out, most, people will be done with Tarkov and shit. It'll be a couple months into wipe. People won't want to play that as much. That's kind of where I'll be at as well. I'll be way more willing to put a lot of time into DMZ now that you've reached a plateau in Tarkov, and at that point you're just playing to have fun pretty much. So that should be fun. I'm excited to give it a go. The only issue is we just have to find a third person to play with.
Yeah. Maybe we should make a little Google form. You guys can apply to be our carry.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I want to learn just us two how to play a little bit first, figure out what we kind of learn on our own, and then go from there, and then, play with some people and be like, oh shit, yeah, I had no idea you can do any of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be cool. Yeah, that's what else sucks about DMZ is it's like exactly 3 people, I don't know. I just wish we had a third.
Yeah.
But whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
If you're listening for the jingle, here it is.
Wow.
Shit on.
We got to hit our thanks after the jingle. Got some thanks to give.
Go ahead, man.
Some thank yous for sure. Is it my pod? You ever thank anyone before?
A couple times.
Yeah.
Try not to.
God, that jingle's long.
It's a long jingle.
Calvin B, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Calvin, let's go, buddy. We appreciate that very much. No message attached. Thank you. Aussie Menace, another month of being a member of the pod, a friend of the pod. 2 months. Aussie Menace, he says, whoa, thank you very much, dude. Appreciate it. Griffin R with a $10 donation. Again, no message attached. People don't like giving message. Griffin! Haven't seen that name before.
Griffin
R. Haven't seen that name before.
Don't like it.
God, just coughing out of my throat. Sorry. Griffin, thank you very much for the $10. Craig Flaw with the 5 Canadian, so thanks for the, 8 cents or so.
Yeah, something like that.
Craig, thank you very much for the 5 Canadian dollary dues. What else we got here? Zpib, $10 says, will the sexy sax guy make an appearance tonight? So, unfortunately, I don't know. Yeah, YouTube they'll send the FBI to our house to to suicide us in the middle of the night if we play a copyrighted song, because it's YouTube, and they'll immediately just destroy your YouTube channel. But Zpib, thank you very much for the $10 donation. We'll see. We'll think about it.
It would be fine if you did.
Drexler, $20 donation. Thank you very much. Drexler, what are your favorite bugs, glitches you've seen in a game?
That's a great question.
Probably from Verdansk, the thing where you couldn't see anything on your screen because your gun was a giant black blob.
Demon polygon.
The demon polygon. Then Infinity Ward left in the game for what? A week straight? The game was quite literally unplayable. Everything turned into the demon polygon.
Yeah.
That was insane. I can't believe they left that.
Really
These are the same
wild.
guys that designed the newer upgraded version of Warzone, right? Drex, thank you very much.
Super upgraded.
And Scary Harry for the $10. Just buy a scuff. We could. We're not going to.
I've got, dude,
not going
listen.
to.
Oh, yeah, that's another topic I guess we could talk about.
Oh, yeah.
The toy.
Yeah. You got a toy?
I got myself a nice little toy. I was going to get like a scuff or a battle beaver a couple months ago, I guess, like 2 months ago. And then I looked at the website and I was like, oh, this is insane. Like, I'm not paying $300 for a controller. I'm probably not going to use that much. And I'm glad I didn't. But I did get a nice controller, a fucking Xbox, fucking Core Elite Series 7 or whatever the fuck.
Used it for actually one day.
No, I used it for a while. And I use it still sometimes. It's wireless for, what's it called? Single player games. You know, games that are made
Hogwarts
for
Legacy,
controller.
you're going to use it for that.
I will use it for Hogwarts Legacy. I was using it for like Elden Ring and Dark Souls, which are designed for controllers.
Yeah.
Say what you want. You can play them on keyboard and mouse, but they're designed for controllers, so use a controller.
It's like sports
so
games,
I was doing it for that. Exactly. Yes. Dude, speaking of which, by the way, this was a while ago. Maybe 5-6 months ago. I was on Steam. And I got a fucking sports game hankering, dude. You ever get a sports game hankering, Tanner?
Usually about once a year, I really want to play the new NHL game, and then I look at gameplay and I realize, oh, it's the same game they've been making for 6 years, but worse. So no.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I had bought 2K23 or 22, I think. It was like on sale on Steam. And then I literally couldn't play it on keyboard and mouse. Like, it was unplayable, so I refunded it. Because this was before I had my controller, so I was like, fuck, man. So it's nice that I now have the option to play games like that, too. I never bought it again, but it's nice to have the option.
Yeah.
I even got the fucking, the control freak on it. That fucking control lunatic, you know?
That control thing.
That control thing. It's dope. But anyways, the point of that, of course, is that mainly me, Tanner's jumped on a little bit, but mainly I have been saying, I'm going to give controller COD video gaming an honest try, and then I want to do an episode on keyboard and mouse versus controller. And I swear to God, I've meant to do this for so long, but it's just so hard for me to play COD on controller for a long time. Like, when this game came out and I was doing just like leveling and doing some camos, I played quite a few hours on controller, but it's just frustrating because I'm just not comfortable on it, and I'm not as good as I am on keyboard and mouse. And the advantages of a controller versus a keyboard and mouse are just different. They're way different. Like being inside someone's when it's really nice. But if you're going for fucking headshots or something, or long shots, I would much rather be on a keyboard and mouse. Now, that's maybe just because I'm better at keyboard and mouse than I am on controller, or it's because it's actually just easier on keyboard and mouse, even if I was equally proficient. I don't really know. But it's hard to play on controller when you're not fucking, you're not doing as well as you could be. And it's more effort too, because I'm not comfortable on it. Like I have to really think and fucking like use my brain, and it's annoying.
Well, you were also in like full relaxation mode. You're not fucking bent over smashing your keys like these kids do on Adderall. You were like literally, you were actually like reclined like this playing. You were like back like this.
Yeah. Yeah. I was big fucking chilling. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, maybe that's, I don't know. But the point is, I'm going to stop promising that this episode's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
I intend to eventually do it at some point, but it's very hard for me to find it's not so much finding the time, it's finding the motivation. Because when I want to play COD, it's usually because it's in a really fun state, or I'm grinding for something, or like a new update just came out. And in those three instances, I just want to be on keyboard and mouse because I'm comfortable with it. Like, I'm not going to be going for the nuke, which is one thing we're going to be doing in Warzone, on a fucking controller. I'm not going to throw that hard. I just won't do it. So then it's like, okay, well, I would play on a controller when, I'm not trying to do anything super like stressful or hard or difficult or anything, which would basically mean playing multiplayer. But also, I don't want to play multiplayer. I'm done with multiplayer. It's not fun. So then, when am I going to fucking play on a controller? I don't know.
Yeah. It would have been a good episode to do this last month.
Yeah, it would have been, but it's just hard to make myself play on controller because I either want to play COD, in which case I want to be on a comfortable input, or I don't want to play COD at all. And I wouldn't care to use a controller, but I don't even want to play the game, so I won't play at all, You think we'll ever do it, man?
I don't know. I mean, I did it in multiplayer as well, but the thing was we both needed to do it in Warzone, and at the time, Warzone 2 had like kind of just came out, so we were like, well, I want to like play Warzone 2 and win and do well. I don't want to be experimenting right now. So I think that's kind of why we never did it. Now that Resurgence is coming out, actually, that would be the best time to do it. It'd be best to try it out on Resurgence.
Excellent point. Actually, yeah,
it really excels on the smaller maps.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we may do it, or we may not. You never know. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
it'll be an episode. This is even
harder for Tanner too, because he's been on the fucking on the mouse for 20 years. So
yeah, I mean, even back in like playing Halo split screen in 2008, I'm just like, I don't like doing this on a controller. I don't know. I'm just not used to it. I don't know. I just find it like boring or something. Something boring about just like holding a little item and using it like is actually just uninteresting to me. I don't know.
It's a toy, man. You gotta get comfortable with it. You gotta become one with the toy.
Boy on that toy for sure. Yeah.
You know what is weird?
It wasn't insane in multiplayer though. I never moved my right analog stick, and I went on a 12 kill streak my first game.
You told me that. I remember you messaged me on Instagram because my phone just goes bing, 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 and it's you just blowing up my DMs.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
That was the highest streak I'd ever gone on an MW, and it was my first game ever using a controller on Shoot House, I think. Yeah.
It was because you were so,
I was like, dude, I didn't aim once, and I got 12 kills in a row.
Yeah, that can happen for sure. I was surprised with how uncomfortable controller feels to me, though. Because unlike you, I did play FPS games on controller, like a fair amount. I had the PlayStation 1 that my mom bought for my brother, and he didn't
love you enough, huh?
Well, it was his birthday or whatever, so she got him a PlayStation 1 and Crash Bandicoot. And then I was like the only one that used it. So it was clear that I was the gamer in the family. And then we got a PlayStation 2. And then my dad got like a free Xbox 360 through his job. I don't know why, but it was cool. It was like a skin 360. It was like a themed 360. It was like I swear to God, I think it was a Mountain Dew themed Xbox 360 console. And I think it was like a promotional only item. I wish I had kept it because I bet I could make a decent little chunk of change. Not that I would ever sell it anyway. I'm too lazy. But it was like an all lime fucking green Mountain Dew colored Xbox 360. But I played the fuck out of that, dude. I played a bunch of Halo 3. I was decent too. My true skill rating, because there was actually ranked fucking 80 years ago when Halo 3 was happening, by the way, but Activision can't do it in 2023, was like 42 or 43, and the highest was 50. It was in the Lone Wolves playlist. But I played the fuck out of Halo 3 on a controller. And then that was kind of the last time and also sprinkled in there was MW 2 and MW 3, which I played a fuck ton of with everyone in high school. We would like go to class. We would talk about COD exclusively all day at fucking break. Just 10 minutes of talking about MW 2. On lunch, talking about MW 2. Go home, boom, like 3:30. Get online using the dumb fucking Xbox plug-in headset thing, getting in your stupid party chat, using Akimbo Model 1887s on a
lot of gamer words too, huh?
Lot of gamer words. Oh yeah. Not from us, of course, but from other people. Absolutely. And we would just fucking 4-stack, 6-stack MW 2, MW 3. And it was a lot of fun, but I played all of this on a controller. And then that was the last time I put it down. I didn't play any FPS games till BO4. Decided to play on keyboard and mouse at that time. Was dog shit. Got better. And then I tried to plug in a controller again, and I can't believe, which is the point of this whole story, I can't believe how uncomfortable I feel on controller still. Like, I feel so useless. I wonder...
You're useless on K-BAM, too, so...
Well, that's fake news. Okay. I wonder if it's because I've been playing on keyboard and mouse so long, or... if I truly just completely lost my ability to use a controller. I don't know what it is.
The ability. It's just, yeah, even like,
am I just comparing it to a keyboard?
It's like when I used it for like an hour one day, like the next day my hands were sore because you're using different parts of your hands, of course, like different muscles.
Yeah, true.
Your little bones are moving differently, you know, them little things are moving differently than they do on K-BAM. So it's like the next day I was like, God, my hand just like feels cramped or something too. That's what I didn't like as well. But yeah, I don't know. It just, we should for sure do it. I just never want to. It's a great idea. We should do it.
Yeah,
we should for sure.
I think the content would be so good, but yeah, it's just hard. It's hard to fly.
It's not hard. I just don't want to do it.
It's hard to want to.
It's hard to just plug it in and simply do it. Yeah. So that's the biggest part, you know. And I had talked about it then, like the aiming was cake. It was the movement that I had a lot of trouble with. I definitely had trouble moving around. That's what felt very odd to me, is having to do that. But it's weird because usually, well, I guess that's true because controller kids usually say K-BAM has easier movement. That's what they think. But usually most of the people, like in Warzone at least, that have the best movement are all in controller. So go figure.
Controller has the best movement, yeah.
And they usually seem to think, a lot of like the shit controller players think that
they seem to think a lot of fucking goofy things.
I guess so, honest. But it's like when you think of all the players in the game with the best movement, like 9 out of 10 times they're on a controller. So watch any Rebirth kid that has a 12 KD.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, you have 360 degrees to like move around in, and you can like push your left joystick up like a little bit and like walk. Can't do that on keyboard and mouse. My W key is either pressed or it's not. Those are the options I have.
Yeah.
I can't move incrementally. Not that that's like super relevant all the time, but
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so I don't know. I want to do that episode, but yeah, finding the motivation to play on a controller is just way more difficult than I had expected. Yeah. And honestly, if I was more comfortable playing on it, it wouldn't be so bad. Like if I was 70% as competent on controller as I am on keyboard and mouse, we would have done the episode by now. But it's not even close. Like, I'm so dog shit at it. It's so much harder than I thought. I don't know.
It's not good,
Weird. Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So,
let me finish this donations. We had a couple more.
Okay.
Next up here. Mike Z has donated through our PayPal from somewhere. I think our website. Michael Z says, happy 300th with an amount of 300 United States dollars. Mike Z. Wow.
Fuck
Let's fucking go.
Fuck YouTube. Fuck
Let's
ad
go,
revenue.
man.
Let's go,
Mike.
baby.
Thank you very much, dude. You are
Holy
insane.
shit.
We appreciate that, King. And he's gifted more
$1
super
per
chats, which we'll get to. But Mike Z, real dumb shit. Thank you very much for that. We
fucking
appreciate
idiot.
that. Holy shit. That was the goal we were going to
That
set
was the
for
goal, yeah.
for some YouTube items. So you met that for us, and you've surpassed it actually. So thank you very much, Mike. We really appreciate that, dude.
Mike, that's fucking insane, dude. $300. Big swinging dick this guy has.
Yeah.
Not his first entirely too fat of a dono either,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
Not his first.
And we have
better not
more.
be his last,
And we have more in
so.
Super Chat. So he gave another $10 in Super Chat, and he asked a message. Despite the growth of your brand, have you considered pivoting to a broader coverage of FPS games or video games in general? The Dropshot and FPS podcast or the Dropshot a video game podcast. We talked about
back
this.
to that.
Yeah, okay.
Once we finish all these, yeah. 'Cause that's a good question.
Why don't we, let's, let me just screenshot that, put that there real quick. So Mike, thank you again for another 10. And then also Mike with another 20, answering his own question. He asked a question for $10 and he answered it for 20. Okay. Said it would provide two invaluable assets. One, not getting burnt out, feeling forced to grind content of one singular game. And two, the luxury of being able to focus on the game offering the most content on literally any given day. Yeah, that's interesting. That is very interesting. Mike, thank you for the 10 and for the 20. We'll get to that in a second. And Patio says, if it feels good, do it. Mike Z and Patio, thank you boys very much. I think that was in reference to the controller thing. Controller versus caveman when we were talking about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you very much, boys. We appreciate that. Pato, Mike Z, you're insane. Thank you
Mike,
very much,
that's
man.
fucking ridiculous, dude. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, really appreciate that. That's a lot of money.
That's some fetty wop, as they say.
It is now
he's
a happy
obsidian,
300. We can say that decisively. So thank you very much, dude.
News, so thanks, man.
That's super appreciated. Dumb shit.
Too,
and Patios. Thank you very much, dude, for the $20 as well. And
that's just drinking some high noon. High noon. Holy shit! What is it? High noons, right? Oh my god, is it High Noon?
I don't know. High Moon Studios Fortune's Keep.
High Noon. It is High Noon.
I don't know what drink that is.
He's just drinking some High Noon seltzers in Maui right now. Just hanging out, donating. Thanks, man.
Just, spending more. Yeah, you don't spend enough money on a plane ticket to Hawaii, so might as well spend some more while you're there. Meanwhile, he's ordering cocktails that are $40.
Yeah. We need to thank him less, though. That was a 20 Canadian.
So.
Yeah.
I take it back. Never mind.
Yeah.
We let you guys come to Hawaii?
We shouldn't. They should be shot by the National Guard when they land. Yeah.
That should be an American exclusive tourist destination. That's what I think.
We took over the land. We deserve to, vacation.
That's been annexed by
fair.
us. It's not Canadian friendly. Yeah. No. Anyway, thank you, buddy. And Mike, thank you again. Yeah, okay, so a couple of interesting questions from Mike here. This is something we've talked about before, and it's germane to tonight's episode. Despite the growth of your brand, have you considered pivoting to a broader coverage of FPS games or video games in general? The Dropshot and FPS podcast or the Dropshot a video game podcast? Yes, we have, and the reason that's a bad idea, at least right now, is that you don't get an audience that way. Period. So the reason we ever got any listeners at all is because we were very deliberate in putting the fucking name Call of Duty in the title of the podcast so that when people searched Call of Duty podcast, we would show up. That is the only reason that we are where we are right now. 100%. Because there are two aspects to doing well in any kind of internet creative whatever endeavor. And that is number one, having good content. Obviously, you're not going to do well if the content's dog shit, no matter how many eyeballs are on you. And you can think of many examples to that effect. But also number two is getting eyeballs on you. You need to have both of those things. And if we had been, or even now, if we transition to the Dropshot, a first-person shooter podcast, you would lose a lot of new audience members because no one goes into Spotify and looks for first-person shooter game podcasts. It's too broad. People will search for whatever they're into. Call of Duty specifically, or a Halo podcast, or a fucking Hearthstone podcast. But no one searches for first-person shooter podcast. People don't do it. So we wouldn't have an audience. And that's why I have considered this, we both have, but that's why we're not doing that now, is because we're still not big enough to justify something like that. Here's a great corollary. There are a lot of big streamers on Twitch. Who's the biggest one? Some Latin American dude, I think. Who's the biggest one for English-speaking countries? XQC. Okay, how is he so popular? Because he plays every game.
Overwatch.
Well, no. Overwatch. That's correct. He was an Overwatch pro. He's a fucking lunatic, and he's very entertaining. He was also really good at Overwatch. He was a pro. So he started by streaming Overwatch, and his name was XQCOW on Twitch. And he would stream for 26 hours a day, Overwatch. And then once he was in the stratosphere in terms of popularity, averaging fucking 95,000 viewers, then he said, you know what? Fuck Overwatch. I'm going to play whatever I want, which is still what he's doing to this day. But if he had started by streaming whatever he wants like he does right now, no one would know who he is. He wouldn't get an audience. You don't get an audience that way. You have to attach yourself to something with an established audience before you can do your own thing and be successful, you know?
Shroud's the same way.
Say again?
Shroud is the same way. Shroud was a Counter-Strike pro turned streamer. Hey, I'll be honest, he's not even entertaining, but he gets a shitload of viewers and he plays a different game every single day and he'll get 30,000 viewers constantly. He plays Tarkov when it wipes. He'll play Warzone at times. He'll play Counter-Strike. He'll play DayZ. He'll play every game you can think of.
He plays fucking turn-based RPGs too.
Yeah, he gained
a lot of crazy shit.
Popularity from being a Counter-Strike pro, one of the best, North American players in the world. And then he went from there. So, and yeah, he does hate Warzone for sure. Yeah, he shits on Warzone. Yeah.
Moon is another example. He started by just playing Overwatch, and now he doesn't play Overwatch ever. And then I would challenge everyone listening. Think of a Twitch streamer who's popular that you know of, who started as a variety streamer.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone.
What did Summit get popular
a few
on?
Exist. Summit?
Was Summit Counter-Strike as well? Wasn't he a former CS pro?
I don't know. He's a good FPS player. I don't know what he got popular on. He's been around forever.
Yeah, it looks like he was a Counter-Strike pro, maybe? I can't tell. I think he was. I think that's how he became popular.
Yeah. But anyway, the point is, we have not, it's not the right time to pivot to a broader topic. We're not big enough yet. We're not even close to big enough yet. We're doing okay, but I mean, we probably average maybe 6,000. I'd have to go look, but maybe like 6,000 listens per episode, which is good. You can make a living doing that, which is what we're doing, but it's not big enough to get out of the COD scene or dip our toes anywhere else. Not even close. So I think eventually maybe we would want to do that. But then another thing is, I'm not really interested in FPS games.
Exactly.
That's another thing. It's like, if we were going to do an FPS podcast, we would talk about Call of Duty and Tarkov, and that's it. We don't play other FPS games.
Yep.
You know? So, like, that wouldn't even make sense for us to do. Or, again, a video game podcast. I mean, I play a decent amount of games these days, but Tanner doesn't play the games I play, and I don't play the games he plays.
Oh, you shouldn't even tell people the games you play. It's embarrassing.
Yeah,
they're
well, Tanner plays
insanely
fucking
nerdy. Yeah.
Tanner plays The Sims and then says things like that to other people, which
Sims
is
the best game of all
hilarious.
time. They just dropped an update. Actually, you can.
Did they? Another microtransaction?
You can add scars under your boobs that were removed surgically.
Whoa.
Yeah, your flat chest with scars underneath.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Like a post-op kind of cosmetics.
Post-op, yeah.
That's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, man.
How much? You told me this stat once. If you wanted to buy every DLC for The Sims 3 ever made, it would be like $500,000.
Well, it's not that much.
No, obviously not. But it would be
$500
like
bucks or
like
something.
Something insane. I thought it was more. I thought it was like $1,000 or something.
I don't know. Yeah, they are expensive.
It's an EA published game, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, like if we wanted to do a video game podcast, the only games that both Tanner and I play are COD, Tarkov, and Hogwarts Legacy, which isn't even out yet. So we wouldn't be able to do that, you know? And then like Salty Rob just said, why not pivot to the Rogan style of pod and have guests to cover other games? We don't have the kind of pull that Joe Rogan has. So one of the big appeals of the Joe Rogan experience is that he can get, sitting members of Congress to talk to him. We can't do that. So like we could get someone who plays Tarkov on, but like Landmark isn't coming on my stream, nor is Wick, nor is anyone like any of you have heard of.
Yeah, we're talking about. Yeah.
Exactly. But also,
they wouldn't know
it's anyone. Like we're not going to get a guest every week, and we wouldn't want to either.
If we
wouldn't be that interesting.
Yeah, if we did an FPS podcast, I actually can't think of even 4 FPS games I would want to play in a single month.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never been so there are people that are gamers, like some of these people we've talked about, like Shroud and shit. Streams a different game every day. I have never in my life been able to do that. I cannot play a bunch of games at once. They don't all hold my interest. I'll find one game that I like and I'll play it. And then I'll mix in another game. I can't play multiple games at once. Like every 3 years when I have my itch to play The Sims 4, I re-download it, play it for 6 hours, uninstall it, don't care about it for, for another year or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's same thing. Like I don't know. Like I've heard Battlefield has gotten a lot better. Still, I'm not going to buy that and play it. Don't care enough. I'm not going to play. I don't know. It's like, then if we start talking about Valorant, every like controller player that's a COD player that listens to the pod is immediately losing interest. And they're like, oh, I don't care about Valorant.
Like they couldn't even play that.
Yeah, they're like, I don't even have a PC. Why do I want to listen to this?
Right.
That's the best thing about COD too, is it's it is for
crossplay.
Yeah, crossplay and everything. Anyone can play it, and COD Mobile now even too. Hell. But yeah, I don't play enough FPS games to care. I always focus on one game. Like back in the day, I played this game called SWAT 4 for probably 4 or 5 years in a row, and I played like no other games. I played America's Army for like a year straight. I played H1Z1 for as long as it was alive. Played it from like the launch day till when it died, pretty much. I only ever do like one game at a time, so I wouldn't even want to do a general FPS game because that doesn't interest me at all.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard because, and you guys as listeners probably don't even realize this, almost none of you would be happy if we made this into an FPS podcast. Because whatever we did end up talking about, we would eventually have an episode on a game you don't like, or you fucking hate, or will never play, or will never try, or can't ever try, like Valorant. And you'll be like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just not listening to this episode. And then let's say we get really addicted to that game and talk about it for 3 weeks straight. Well, now we just lost a listener because you're not coming back. It's like, it's not a good move from a content creation standpoint.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah, it's not in the cards, unfortunately. I think eventually, like, and I've been saying this for a long time, eventually I would like to do a podcast. That's it. Just a podcast where we talk about whatever.
A podcast about something, yeah.
Again, that requires a way bigger audience than we have now. Because whenever that switch happens, we're losing 40% of our listeners, like overnight, where we just talk about whatever, you know? So like we have to be big enough to absorb that. And then if you are big enough, you can get new listeners based on the quality of the content because you have enough of a presence online to actually attract new listeners, even though your podcast isn't about anything in particular. But again, you have to have that big presence before that's even feasible.
Yep.
Because if we just became a podcast where we talk about whatever the fuck we want, games, not games, food, whatever, random shit, then we wouldn't ever get new listeners because how would people find us? Because people don't search for a podcast.
You'd have to be, yeah.
I want to listen to a podcast. Like, no one does that.
You're just going on Spotify and looking up a podcast. Yeah. Exactly, and that's the same thing with someone, like, think of our average listener, some 40-year-old dude who plays DMZ. He's not going on Spotify and typing in, oh, video game podcast. No. He has an Xbox and he's playing Call of Duty DMZ. So he's searching DMZ podcast or Call of Duty podcast. Like, it's just, you know, I've never thought of just searching gaming podcasts because the only thing you're going to find from that are like IGN pods where which are
dog shit.
Yeah, which are totally uninteresting, I'm sure. I've never listened and I never would, but those are like those are the top gaming podcasts on the charts, but that's because it's put on by IGN, of course. You know, it's not it's a massive company. It's not some guy doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, they're ideas for sure. So thanks for the $300, Mike. But yeah, no. And I'm teasing you because if you're not in our shoes, these aren't things you think about, but we have to. So, you know, but anyway, yeah. What else did you say? It would provide 2 invaluable assets, not getting burnt out, feeling forced to grind content out of one singular game, and the luxury of being able to focus on the game, offering the most content on literally any given day. Yeah, those would be 2 assets, but the downside would be we wouldn't have any money and we'd have to go work other jobs again, unfortunately. We're just not in that position yet, but we'll let you guys know. I'd love to be. Patreon.com/thedropshot.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, moving on. It's episode 300, man. We did it. It's been
done.
It's been about 3 years, I think. Yeah. It's been about 3 years of doing a podcast. Tanner and I, your little origin story. Some of you are familiar with this. Tanner and I don't know when we first met, but we've known each other we've known of each other for quite a while. I lived across
2010.
I would say around 2010, probably. Yeah, maybe like 2008, something like that. Yeah. I lived across the street in my childhood home from another child named Michael. And he was exactly my age, which is insanely lucky, by the way. I lived on a cul-de-sac in an upper middle class area. And when I was 9 years old, another family moved in across the street with a boy who also really liked basketball. So it's like, that's what my thing was back then. And was literally my age, like in the same grade and everything. Because it's like, oh, he's a year older than you. That's not that big of a deal. When you're 9 years old, it is. Like, it's actually quite a big deal. And I'm not going to be friends with someone who's a grade younger than me. It's never happening. So the fact that we were in the same grade is really lucky. Anyways, to this day, I'm friends with him. Very close friends with him. Shout out to Michael. But he went to some fucking dumb Christian school, private school kid. So he had friends from that I didn't know. And likewise, I had friends that he met through me. But one of them was named Gabriel Saul Perez, Covina, California.
The most handsome man in Southern California.
Lyman Avenue, homeless, unemployed, the most handsome man in Southern California, who succeeds at everything he tries, even though he doesn't really have to try, and it's very frustrating. And fuck Gabe, and he's always
Mexican
late for everything.
Privilege. Classic brown
Mexican
privilege.
Hispanic privilege, yeah. Olive skin privilege, absolutely true. Handsome privilege. Anyways, so Gabe was Michael's friend. I became Gabe's friend through that. Gabe and I are still very close friends as well to this day. Love him. Love Michael. But one of Gabe's friends, I guess, was Tanner. Because you weren't Michael's friend really ever.
No, I had no clue
Gabe's
how
friend,
Michael
right?
was, or who Michael was, yeah. They didn't even meet till high school, right?
How did you meet Gabe?
First grade. School.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
Wait, how did Gabe and Michael meet? Wasn't that not till high school?
It was high school, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They both went to Western Christian, and they were on the basketball team together. And Gabe's insane at basketball, by the way.
Is.
He's fucking really good.
God, I fucking hate him.
Super athlete. Fuck Gabe, man. The only thing that makes me happy is that he's not 6 feet tall, and I am. It's the only thing I have on him.
Yeah, he's not a short king. He's
height.
an average height king. Yeah, he's
he's
5'9", 5'8"? What do you think he is?
No, he's not 5'8". He's 5'9" minimum. 5'9" to 5'10". He's one of those two.
Yeah, he's not short, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
He's not 5'8".
Average. I'm taller, of course, but
I think he's like 5'10", and I think he's like 5'10".
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I became friends with Gabe. Gabe and Tanner were friends. And I don't know when the first time you and I saw each other. The first time I remember seeing you was at Mount Sac, but I'm positive I saw you before that. Like super positive.
I feel like you and Michael came to my house one time. I remember I swear it was I don't know. I feel like I remember that happening. Like you guys coming into my house for a very short period of time for something.
Like pick you up or something.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but
weird.
Something for sure. Yeah.
So anyway, we knew of each other, and then eventually I was playing Black Ops 4 because I got like a new computer and I started doing that. And then I don't know if I hit you up or Gabe told you that I'm playing, so you were like, "Oh fuck it, I'll play."
Gabe did, yeah. Yeah, because Gabe knew that because Gabe knew that I played like a ton of COD 4 and shit. And that was pretty much the last Call of Duty game I played on PC, really, because the scene was just dead after that. After COD 4, it just died off. Mm-hmm. I mean, they didn't at all care about the PC player base at that point because gaming computers were so rare those days. No one had them. You were a super nerd if you had them. You got beat up at school if you told people you had a gaming PC. Now, there are NBA players out here streaming video games in their off season. NFL players,
Jews, having
dual PC setups with a whole streaming room. And I was a fucking nerd in high school for having one. But anyways. So Gabe was like, "Oh yeah, Casey plays BO4 on PC." I'm like, "There's no way anyone plays that." He's like, "Yeah, I don't know. He's been playing it." He's like, "You should get it and play with him." I'm like, "That's insane." I'm like, "There's zero chance anyone is playing Black Ops 4 on computer. There's no shot someone's dumb enough to buy Call of Duty on PC in 2018. Like that's actually insane." He's like, "Yeah, you should get it." I'm like, "Okay." I don't remember what would I have been playing at the time. That was probably that must have been after H1Z1 died, and I was just kind of in like not much going on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because H1Z1 just killed my love for video games, and then he's like, "You should get it," and I think I bought it, and then we started playing together. Yeah, started playing with Itchy, started playing with Low Cap.
Itchy, Low Cap a little bit. Were we playing with Low Cap?
He played a little bit here, like he did in like Verdansk. He played for like a month, I guess, and then never played
just here and there. Yeah, Itchy definitely
He's
more.
A casual.
And then we played with someone else too a lot, didn't we?
We had a whole little crew. Yeah, we had a whole crew when we first started the pod, like before that, and then they all just got real weird real quick. I don't know.
Real fucking weird.
Fucking odd. Yep. And then
Yep.
Never heard from them again. What if they like blocked us or something? It was weird. I don't even like. We actually just did nothing. We're like, what is going on? This is weird. Okay.
There was a lot of weird.
Yeah, but anyways, we had a whole little crew that we played with. Don't play with any of them anymore. But yeah, there was a player base on BO4, so that's kind of where we started playing COD together.
And it was a lot of fun, dude. The last fun multiplayer Call of Duty experience was Black Ops 4, but we would play that shit and just for the fun of it. For the fun of multiplayer. There was no ranked. We would just grind prestige levels. For.
Yeah, just grinding your level. Grinding your level alone was enough. Seeing that level rank up, that's all I need.
Yep. And the fucking Dark Ops challenges. I still remember when you got the Fight Fire with Fire.
Yeah, we were on firing
Giga
range.
Rare Dark Ops calling card on firing range. And I remember the building you got it in.
I do too. I remember where I was standing.
It was by mid. But it was in the God, it's hard to explain.
It was that one floor C-can on the right lane where the firing range was.
Toward back. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. I remember exactly where you got it too. Yeah.
Yep.
Great fucking map, man. And then I was all pissed because you had a calling card I didn't have. And I remember getting mad at you for running Molotovs because that was a pick 10 create a class system, by the way. So no one ran lethals because they would just use whatever their operator came with instead, which would be like the 9-bang or the Semtex with battery instead.
Yeah, why was I using mullet? Was I trying to go for that?
I don't know. I don't remember, but for some dumbass reason, you were running fucking mollies, and then you happened to run into a fire break who had his ult. He had to be ulting, right?
He ulted against me, and I threw the Molotov at him.
And then you killed him with a molly. I mean, just so rare. And yeah, you just got it. I feel like you weren't going for it.
I don't think you really can. You can't really just go for it.
Yeah, you just have to like always be running mollies to go for it, I guess. Yeah. But I remember I was like, God damn it. But it's a dope looking calling card, by the way. Great art.
Oh, all the calling cards in BO4 were excellent.
But anyway, yeah, we played the fuck out of that, had a lot of fun. And then I think we started the podcast before 2019 came out.
No, we didn't.
No. We didn't. No, we didn't.
We started a few months into it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we started when it came out.
When we were still playing BO4, though, we had been excited because we're like, oh shit, like crossplay's coming out. This is cool. Like, this is going to be dope. Like, this is going to be really cool. We're like, oh, this is going to be so. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't even going to be fair. We're going to be shitting on all of the controller players. Like, this is going to be like I literally remember thinking, like, what are they doing? This is going to be so easy for us. And then the game came out. I'm like, oh, I can't kill anyone. Yeah, I can't compete in a single fight. I guess I'm not as good as I thought I was. But, yeah, so we started once MDeb came out. It had been out a couple months.
Okay.
It was in January of 2020.
I think I was thinking about it before then. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I was thinking like, cause, back in this time, this was, 4 years ago. I was graduated from college, working kind of a bullshit job. And I was like, man, I want to do content creation. But by this time, I had realized I'm just not good enough at any video game to be a live streamer. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, you were doing BO4 videos.
Yeah.
And streaming. Which
was fine. But I was never going to get big that way. Yeah. Like, ever.
Yeah, 10, 15 viewers on average? Pretty decent.
No. Maybe 10-ish. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to go way back. But yeah, like it was decent. But again, that was like a small pond situation because I was streaming BO4 on keyboard and mouse. I would put that in the titles. And there were like 5 people who streamed BO4 on PC. There was Syrian, Nate Gibson, and like me.
Yeah.
There were obviously other people, but like, there was no huge market for that. So that was part of the reason I got any viewers.
Oh, who's that Hispanic dude?
Cubus
FPS, yeah.
Yeah.
Tartar streamed too, didn't he? Yeah, Tartar streamed.
Oh, the Archduke, Tartar. Yeah, Tartar Vid. Shout out to Tartar. Yeah, he streamed a little bit. Cubas, But yeah, anyway, I don't know. Like, I had been wanting to be like a content creator or whatever online. for a long fucking time, dude. Way before even BO4, like back in the SWOTOR days, before the SWOTOR days, I was like, this is a really cool job. I'd really love to like play video games for a living or whatever, which is what fucking everyone wants to do, obviously, because it sounds and is a really great fucking way to make money. But by this time, BO4, I was realizing I'm just not good enough at any video game to make money playing a video game. It's not going to happen. Like, you know, I was really good at like MMORPG PvP. I was really good at it. But I was only really good at like Star Wars The Old Republic. And then if there's any game where you're going to make money by creating content for PvP in an MMO, it's World of Warcraft. And that game, just not good enough.
Well, and there's so many people streaming it. Yep. Way too many streamers at that point.
Yep. But even outside of the saturation, I was just never rank 1 material. Like the people who play that game are really fucking talented. They're really good. And the rating system actually works. So like maybe if I was a rank 1 PvPer, I think I could have made a career. I don't know how big streaming that, because I would have then had the skill set plus like an actual personality more than a wet fart. And that would have probably been enough. But I wasn't. I don't know if it's natural skill I didn't have, or that World of Warcraft was out for fucking 10 years already, and I was just never going to learn all of the fucking class abilities for every of the 300 classes in WoW. It was probably both. So then anyway, I was making this realization, and I was like, I still want to make content online. That would still be really cool. But if I can't do it by playing a game or like making videos about a game, what could I do? What am I good at? I was like, you know what? Let's do a podcast.
You're like,
that would be good.
I'm good at talking.
I can talk about nonsense for so long. Yeah, that's if I have any skill, it is talking inanely for hours on end. And I was like, I'm going to try a podcast. Fuck it. And then I remember looking up Call of Duty podcasts and being very pleasantly surprised that there were none. And I was like, this seems like a missed opportunity. I specifically thought that back then. So then I asked Tanner if he'd want to do a podcast with me, because at this time we were playing BO4 together. And I remember thinking he's probably not down. Why did you say yes?
God, I don't even remember. Well, because I figured it wouldn't be like we just sit there and talk. I don't even know. Well, because at that point that was MW 2019. And yes, that was, we were having fun at that point, that early on. We were hanging out. We were having a blast.
Having a jolly good time, yeah.
Yeah. I guess I just didn't really understand what it would have been anyways. Like, I feel like at the time I kind of just thought it was going to be like a Twitch stream thing. Because it was nice to start that you had a little Twitch following from BO4 and also from Star Wars at the time.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, like, I feel like our first pod we did on Twitch, we were lucky enough, like, we got like at least 10 viewers, because we've been telling people like, oh, we're gonna like do like a podcast like this day at this time. Be like, oh, okay. And then people stop by and they're like, what the heck, what's going on? And that kind of like jump started it. So that was interesting. I don't know if that would have changed the growth. Probably not, because at the end of the day, 99% of people that find it just find it through Spotify or something anyways. No one was finding it through Twitch, but it gave us that feeling that like, oh, people are here live.
Motivation.
Like, people, yeah, I think if we did it to 0 viewers, we probably would have honestly stopped after a few weeks or something, a month, be like, oh yeah, whatever, let's just stop. Whatever, it's not even worth it. But yeah, I mean, if you guys go back, I didn't even have a webcam till what? Episode 10 maybe?
At the earliest. Yeah, you didn't have a webcam for a while.
I had my headset microphone, my
dog shit mic,
HyperX microphone.
Yep, real shit.
This room, this room's still a disaster. It was more of a disaster then. Yeah, all of it. It was a lot different. But yeah, I think more than anything, it was just, I think you had kind of realized, I remember when you had told me like, oh, like no one else has a COD podcast. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Let's get on and talk about this shit game, I guess.
Yeah. I think I remembered that I sold it to you as like, you don't have to do shit, but just be there and talk with me. And,
Yeah.
and like, that's all. Like, you don't have to do anything. And you were like, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. And then we started getting a lot of positive reception and a lot more listeners on like apps than we expected to. And we started getting like some money too, like some fucking donations and Twitch subs and shit. And I think at that point you were like, oh, I should, I guess, like get in on this.
Well, yeah, so early on you were getting Twitch subs and stuff, and like you were keeping it because it like wasn't much, and it was like whatever, it's like your Twitch channel. Like we never even had, like, the thought didn't even cross our mind. And then at some point you were like, you should like just get a Twitch channel and then we can split the streaming and then you can get like subs and shit that way. So I was like, I guess, sure. So then I made my own Twitch channel, started streaming. And that worked. I think, like the earliest possible time you could get affiliate through Twitch, like I already had it at that point because I like had the live viewers and everything. So that was cool. I was like, damn, I was, kind of worried about getting viewers and whatnot. And it was like, super easy, which, for people that start off just like some guy in high school, some kid in high school, that's like, oh, I want to stream video games, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch. To even get affiliate for a lot of those people, they'll just never even get that. So it's like, I got it easily and quickly, and that was like really lucky. Glad that happened. And it's because we'd already built up like a little Twitch following at that point and a little, like Spotify listener group and all that. So that worked out really well. That was fun. We'd stream gameplay, all that.
Yeah. And then by then it was a lot easier for both of us to keep going, because it was a bitch, especially once we started doing it twice a week, because we were working both full time. So like, I would get off work at 5. I'd go eat dinner, and then we'd be live at 7, which is like the earliest we could have gone live in the evening.
Because I would get off after you. So you would have you would usually have to have almost all of the notes done, because by the time I got off,
I did all the notes early.
Got home, and I would have to like eat and shit. Like Sierra and I would plan. I'd be like, "Can you like make dinner or get us something, or like we'll eat leftovers or something?" Because I have to eat as soon as I get home and get on. But at the time, it didn't matter. We were lucky enough that happened during 2020. Because if we started this not during 2020, honestly, it probably wouldn't have lasted. Because it would have been more things like, well, I don't know, we have like a dinner to go to this night, we're like going out with friends, but since no one was doing any of that at that time,
COVID,
that's like a big reason. It's like, okay, we're not going to do anything and go anywhere, so like let's whatever. It made it easy. But it was like, I'd work from 8 to 6 or 9:30 to 6 or something, get off, come home, eat super quick, usually shower or something, and then get on at like 6:45, and then we'd do the pod for an hour and a half, and then the OGs fucking remember gameplay. We used to do gameplay streams it started off every Wednesday and Saturday after the pod. So then we'd stream gameplay from 8:39 until 11 or so. So whoever streamed the pod would then raid the other Twitch channel of the person that was going to do gameplay.
Yeah,
we'd raid them.
I forgot about that. That's right.
We'd do that. So then that person would end up getting the viewers. And that's how we did it. And then we realized, like, fuck, this is a lot. Let's just, I think we started doing the gameplay after that just on Saturdays. We're like, this is too much. Let's start doing just the gameplay on Saturday. This is like insane. Working 10 hours and then doing the pod for 2.5 and then streaming gameplay. It's like, it's not hard. It's just like tiring at the end of it from talking mostly more than anything. And so I'd like, you would also work the next day. I would usually try to alter my schedule. So I usually ended up having Thursdays and Sundays off. So it was okay, because I built my schedule around that. Thankfully, my work let me do that. But fuck, that was annoying at times.
Yeah, and then I would work the next day when we were doing that on Wednesdays. And we'd be
drinking every night during it, too.
And we would be drinking,
You'd be waking up hungover after working.
So Thursdays I was...
we live a tough life, man.
On Wednesdays,
yeah, we live a tough life.
But like, it's crazy to look back on, because being able to quit our jobs made it a lot easier and a lot better. And I think the quality of the episodes went up when we went to afternoons. But, like a lot of people poke fun at us for being full-time podcasters, which you should. It's totally fair. But
Oh, you should call us a lot of words, yeah.
we didn't fucking start as full-time podcasters. We were working 40 ass hours a week. And then we were also working another, 10, 12 on the podcast at the time. Maybe even more than that. I don't remember everything I did, but it was, I mean,
how many hours did you say? 10, 12?
Like 10 to 12 maybe a week, but maybe even a little more than that. At least in my case, because I was rendering,
probably
I was uploading
more,
to
think,
YouTube. Yeah, uploading to the apps.
When you think of
I had to fucking make our YouTube channel. I had to do a lot of shit. So like for that first fucking year before I went full time, dude, I was working a lot. I was at least at a bare minimum, I was working 50 hours a week for a year. Not on the podcast, but in total. Yeah. But yeah, probably more than that. Definitely more than that for some weeks. But at like a bare minimum, 50 hours a week. And if you're listening to this and you're a fucking, a state prosecutor or a state defense attorney rather, you're laughing in 70-hour work week. But most of you, that's a lot. Like we worked really fucking hard to get it off the ground enough to be able to quit our full-time jobs. And I'm very proud of that. And looking back, I cannot believe how fucking dog shit that first year was a lot of times in terms of just raw fucking hours. Yeah. There would be actually like Wednesday was just, I'm going to wake up and work all day and then go to sleep. That was it. I worked every waking moment of that day. I would wake up on Wednesday, get ready for work, go to work, get off at 5, eat dinner. There's my little break. Write the notes for the podcast from 6 or 6:30 or whatever until 7. Go live, stream the podcast, stream gameplay. And then I would get off and yeah, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock, go to bed. That's it. Like actually the entire day just working.
Yeah.
And
I think one of the things we realized during that too was that we were always in a worse mood because of that.
Oh yeah.
Like you were always pissed off because of your job, especially. I think yours got better when you started working from home and it was more lax, but
oh yeah.
Even then it's just like having like a shit day at work and then having to come home and like try to be in a good mood and talk about one of the worst video games ever made,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It didn't help that MDub 2019 was fucking awful. And I couldn't see anyone. Yeah. That didn't make it better. And then getting Borpa fucking spin botted after the podcast when I just want to try and decompress a little bit while we're streaming gameplay. Wrong. Fuck you.
Oh, and the sweatiest lobbies at that time of the night too.
Yep. Yeah. You got Iron Sight fucking FAL 3 headshot down from 5,000 meters. Cool, man. I cannot catch a break. Yeah. That was not great. Yeah. But like you said, COVID made it possible, dude, because a lot of people were at home not doing shit, including you. I wouldn't have been doing anything anyway, but for you, that made it easier. And then also
my work cut our hours
live streaming audience.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everyone was saying the same shit, like, oh, I'm not going to work right now, or I'm working from home. This is a lot easier. But mine was, they cut our hours to like, we were closing at like 4:30 or something. So I was like, oh, this is great. This is excellent. But then a lot of times I would actually do it so I would work overtime and I'd still work 8 to 6. Then I'd only work 4 days a week. So it's like, perfect. I can plan around the pod. So I'd get like, I'd take every like Thursday off. I'd take every Saturday off and then like another day or something too. So it ended up working out better that way.
Yeah, I remember your work being cool about that. But yeah, like that we got very lucky with COVID and the deaths worldwide were of course worth it for our gain. But that made it way easier because we got a lot of motivation from the live stream support at the time, which is where we got like all of our money early on. Was like shout out to the Vaping Viking. Many of the other OGs just giving us a ton of support. And that'll keep you working 60 hours a week, Yeah. So that was very, very lucky. But yeah.
Mike Z, thank you very much for the 20 gifted memberships on the Dropshot podcast YouTube channel. Mike Z, the guy's an animal tonight. 300 bones plus 10 plus 20 plus 20 gifted members
he's
plus some
on
other
demon
things.
time.
He's off that joint. He's off that bourbon joint or something for sure. He's gone off that. Mike, thank you very much, dude.
What do
for all
the
the
Italians drink? They drink wine, right? Are you a fucking wino, Mike? You fucking drunk off that wine, dude?
You drunk off that joint? Yeah.
I'll take it. Drink more. Open another cab. Have another cab.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Mike, thank you very much, dude. Yeah, 20 gifted memberships. You're fucking nuts, buddy. And I appreciate it. What do you do for a living, Mike?
Kills people.
No, the Italians don't kill people. What is it? Well, are you Italian American? It's a joke. Relax. I'm playing on the fucking racial stereotypes of Italian Americans through media. Shout out to The Sopranos, by the way, the best TV show ever made. I don't know if you guys knew that, but now you do. So there you go.
You like
Have
Modern
you watched
Family?
The Sopranos yet?
No. You like Modern Family?
I liked Modern Family.
Excellent show. Clever humor.
It's funny.
I want to watch
clever.
it through
It's
again.
good.
I gotta watch it. Well, I actually haven't watched most of it, but we've been wanting to watch it all the way through.
Shout out to the gays because they're very prominent in that show.
They are the reason it's funny.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. They write the two gay characters cleverly. I really like that.
Yeah. We love the gays, of course.
Shout out to the gays. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've said it before. I mean, gay men can provide services to me that no one else can.
What? Can they?
Wait, what?
Can they?
Wait, what? No,
Look how fancy.
no,
this
like
looks.
styling, you know. If I wanted to style, if I was like rich enough to hire an interior decorator, I'm hiring a gay man. I'm not hiring a normal, excuse me. Although they are normal in the statistical sense. But what I mean is heterosexual man. Nope, you don't know how to interior decorate, pig. You're disgusting. You're a straight man. I'm not letting you decorate my home. I want a gay man to do it. And women can do a good job with interior decoration. You know,
women are okay.
Their forte.
I prefer the gays,
okay.
but women are okay. Yeah.
But I prefer the gays. Exactly. That's absolutely correct. Yeah. Because even though they like men, they are also men. So they can give you a masculine touch, but also a very well-designed space.
Yeah. Gay men can touch you in a way women can't, essentially.
That is, of course, true, yes. So only gay men for interior decoration and for personal styling. If you got like a stylist, like, all right, what kind of clothes should I fucking buy and wear? How should they fit?
Yeah.
You got to get the gay men to help you with that. Because they're men. They know how to dress, but they have the gay touch, which is unparalleled.
Yeah. Great show. Excellent show. Modern
Yeah,
Family.
anyway, Modern Family is funny. Yeah. I haven't watched it in quite a while, but I liked it a lot. But anyways, Mike, thank you again, dude. You're off the wine tonight. I dabble with a big red, but I'm a tequila boy. Interesting. Tequila,
boy,
huh?
Yeah,
Is tequila Mexican or Spanish? It's Mexican, right?
It's
because
Mexican,
of the agave? Yeah, I think it's Mexican.
You do a little live Google.
Do a little live Google. Thank you, Jared.
Tequila was first
Appreciate
produced in the
buddy.
16th century in the town of Tequila, which is located in the state of Jalisco.
Okay, yeah, so Mexico. Got it.
Yeah, what do the Spaniards have? Do they have anything? They don't have much going for them over there. Have they ever created anything?
Spanish? I mean, they're
kind of useless.
Bulls and yeah, that's kind
what
of
have they created?
Yeah.
They haven't done much for the world. I'll be honest, Spain. You got to step it up.
They conquered a lot of the world at a time, but yeah, they kind of fell off. The Spanish fell off, if we're being honest.
Fell off, yeah.
They fell off.
Yeah,
they conquered a lot of places, and then they got overthrown, and now they're kind of just chilling.
What kind of foods have they created that the Mexicans didn't create? Do they have any good foods that I would eat and not think of that
I don't think
I assume
we
is Mexican?
know what Spanish food is. I think we just eat Mexican food, yeah, which is like different, I would imagine. I don't know, though.
Paella. I've had paella.
Mole, I think, is Spanish.
Is it?
Rather than merely Mexican, yeah. I think so. Although I'm not sure. Oh, this is demonetized already. We played the sax guy. That's fine. Michael's a Noli man.
Oh, they do the Iberico, the fucking that thinly sliced ham, Iberico ham. You ever seen that?
I don't even know what that is.
Okay. Chorizo, that's Spanish apparently.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, shout out to the Spaniards then. They're okay. We'll let them slide. They're
We'll
not great. They're not great at all. Let's be clear. The Mexicans are better, but it's fine.
Oh, of course the Mexicans are better. Yeah, shout out to the Mexicans. Spanish fell off. I don't know.
I can't.
Anyway.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, they have terrible looking food. Forget it.
Yeah. European food, just not great. Let's be clear. And if there is like, oh, but what about Italian food? Italian-American food's better. So fuck you. I'll go to Buca di Beppo. You can shit on it all you want. Oh, this isn't a real fucking margarita pizza. Suck my balls and because we do your food better than you do.
As a world traveler, I have to say the food in Italy was extremely overhyped by Americans and I guess Italians who say their food is. I'll be honest, it just wasn't. Don't get me wrong. Some places had excellent food. Most places had mid dog shit food, and believe me, I wasn't going to the place right next to the Leaning Tower of Pisa or some dog shit. I'm walking down alleyways. I'm almost getting mugged trying to find a place to eat, and I'll be honest, food wasn't always that great, man. I'll be honest, Italians, you guys are a little full of yourself. You're just a little full of yourself. I had better pizza.
Greek.
I had better pizza in Croatia than I did Italy, so they do it better over there. And
that's
fuck
wild.
the Italians.
Yeah, well, we'll rein that in a little bit.
We love the Italians here.
Shout out to the Italians, I guess. Yeah. But if you're Italian American, you're better than an Italian. If you're a French American, you're better than a Frenchman. Let's be clear, the degree to which you've touched the United States of America is the degree to which you're a better person, because the Americans do everything better, obviously.
We blow up. How many Chinese spy balloons have the Italians blown up this year? Probably zero, right?
That's great. Probably zero.
We do it all better.
We do, yeah. I wonder if
COVID
Greek
deaths by country, we do it better.
True. Yeah, true. Have you been to Greece?
No. I don't know if I'd ever. I would be open to going to Greece. They have some good looking food.
I would love to go to Greece, dude. The birthplace of democracy?
Yeah, it would be cool. They have a lot of sights to see, I guess. You're right.
They got a lot of history in Greece. I do wonder, though, if Greek food, I wonder how different that is than the Greek food we can get in America. You know? Because, like, I know Chinese food is way different than, like, Chinese American. Same with Italian. But I wonder how different, like, Greek food is than Greek American food, you know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it wouldn't be that different, to be honest.
Yeah, what? Because,
like,
Georgie's Mediterranean. So, okay, so a place here that just says Mediterranean. Is that just Greek and something else? Like, what is that usually? Is that whitewashed Greek?
The only thing I can think of is Greek, honestly, yeah. What else? I mean, what other Mediterranean food is there, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. What do they got over there?
Any countries in the Mediterranean?
So Greece is home of baklava, which is not good, of course.
I'm allergic, so I can't try it.
You're not missing much. Again, overrated and dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Greeks do nothing good either. Yeah, Americans are, again, better than the Greeks.
Well, Americans are better than everyone, yeah. Anyways, little detour there. So here's what we're going to do now. We are going to finish out a little history lesson of the program, if you guys are interested in that. This will be a bit more abbreviated. And we'll answer a couple questions from you guys. So where did we leave off on the history lesson?
Oh boy, where did we leave
I don't know. It was kind of early days, whatever. Eventually we went to we started with one podcast a week. I talked a little bit about that. We eventually went to 2. COVID helped a lot. We eventually, I don't know. But from there, I guess we can say we started getting a lot of support, a lot of traction, a lot more eyeballs on the program than we expected, a lot sooner than we expected. And I credit all of this to us having Call of Duty podcast in our name. So shout out to us for having the brain power to put Call of Duty in the title of our podcast. But anyway, from there, we both started thinking, oh, we could actually like make this something serious. I remember I sent that message to Tanner pretty early on Instagram. I was on break at work and I was like, dude, I think we can like do something with this. Yeah. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something like that, like very early days. Because I was like amazed at how much feedback and how many listens we were getting, like really fucking early on. So eventually we went to 2 podcasts a week, and then what was the next big thing? I guess from there we just continued to get a lot of growth, and we just got a lot of fucking money on Twitch from a lot of you guys who were stuck at home with nothing to really do.
Yeah, 2020 Twitch went bonkers.
It went insane. So you guys would get drunk because you weren't allowed to exit your homes or you'd be executed by the state. And
shout out to America.
Shout out to many countries. And then, you know, we got a lot of donos, a lot of gifted subs, a lot of that shit, which really, really was fortuitous for us, obviously. And it gave us the motivate. It's not that we needed the money because, you know, like I lived with and still do my parents. I also worked a full-time job with full benefits. It's not like the money was a hurdle to the next evolution of the podcast. It was in some sense because that allowed us to go full-time, but I'll get into that later. But the biggest thing it did was obviously the money was helpful and we put it toward many good uses, such as this website, which is very expensive. But it was a lot of motivation to keep going. And that was tremendously helpful because the fact that we just hung on a little longer than maybe we otherwise would have allowed us to kind of break through the first little barrier, I would say. Because we've had some dramatic climbs in listeners, viewers, whatever. Some real like plateaus and then just breaking through them. And it's all like a positive feedback loop. But it kind of let us get through that next one. And then eventually we stayed on the 2 episodes a week, whatever. We got to episode 101. 100 episode celebration, and that was a huge production. Oh, I think in the interim between them, we launched a Patreon. That went very well. And one thing about the Patreon that's kind of interesting looking back is we had the idea for the Patreon for at least 3 months before we actually decided to launch it. Do you remember that?
No, did we have it for that long? We're just thinking about what to do for tiers.
We were yes. What kind of tiers should we do? How much should it cost? And are we going to have the time to do bonus episodes yet? Because we launched the Patreon while we were still both working 40 hours a week at our normal ass jobs. So I remember we agreed we should do a Patreon, but we just didn't actually make it until episode 101.
No, we had made it before that. There's no way.
Yeah, it was a little before. You're right.
I think it was a lot. I think we made it within 50. I think we made it pretty damn early.
No, I don't think so. Because I think I remember in oh yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, it was before then. Because I remember in our year in review video I made, I mentioned our first ever patron, who was Mr. Salmonella. Shout out to Sally Boy. Yeah, so it was before the episode 100. You're right. But that was a big step too, the Patreon and the Damascus Hangouts, which we did every week.
Oh,
that,
the weekly
I guess would
ones.
be the next big thing that happened in our evolution.
Was that every Friday? When did we do this? Every Saturday?
I think it was every Friday night.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that was a lot too,
yeah.
Doing that every week.
Yeah, that was a big...
Because back then, there were a lot of people would go to, because again, early on COVID, no one's going out on a Friday night. I mean, we would have 20. There were some
We
times
have like 20 people.
There were some times where we had too many people to even fit in a channel, because if someone turns their camera on, which sometimes people would cam up, it would lock the channel to 25 max, even if only one person has their camera on. And there were times where people were like, I can't get in the channel right now. Like, there were like 30 people, which was a lot, for.
Oh, yeah.
But again, that's all just because of COVID. People had nothing better to do. Like, oh yeah, let's hang out and play COD on a Friday night and drink.
But yeah, that was a very cool era in the podcast because, yeah, everyone was home. And like we've done hangouts since then. We've never gotten close to that number because people have better things to do now. And good for you guys, by the way. But that was a lot of fun. And then eventually we got burned out on that. But this was months later. To start, it was very, very cool. And we were surprised by how many people would show up every week. And oh, yeah, spent many a drunken night staying up all fucking night, debating, talking about shit, talking about the Fed, talking about the Chi-Coms, talking about fucking abortion and shit like that. Yeah. And then we would also do like the fucking Warzone customs, which were super fun. And we had some real demons, some real fucking demons. And I remember being surprised. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder when we started playing with, who were like some of the first people we started playing with? It was like Jake, wasn't it?
I think it was like
Jake. If that was from customs, if that was through customs or not. I wonder.
I bet you it was. It must have been. Because why else would we start playing with them? It must have been.
I don't remember.
I think this might have even been before the Hangouts. No, I think we did the Hangouts when we launched the Patreon, so maybe not. But I remember at some point, part of the Damascus tier, or maybe even Platinum, was gameplay breakdowns. And I remember the first ever breakdown we did of Jacob Down.
Yeah, it was him, multiplayer on Crash. I remember that
Friend of the pod, multiplayer on Crash, and he had a knife as a secondary, and I roasted the fuck out of him for it.
That's the Sweat Lord setup.
Why are you doing that? Like, it would be better for you to fucking use like an actual secondary. And he was like, oh, well, I still had to do camos or something, some shit like that, which is funny. And then, yeah, it turns out Jake is like 3 times as good as both of us at the game.
I think that was when
this was back when he was on a console and on a controller.
Oh, was that? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He turned Nemesis off. It hurt him having it on. So
that's.
But yeah, with those,
by the way,
those Damascus hangouts, especially, that's something we knew like that would not survive long term. Because it's like, this is great for now, but at some point, dude, I'm married. I can't dedicate every Friday to a hangout and every Saturday night to a pod. That's just, I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen once our government finally lets us leave our house without the U.S. Army killing us. So
literally before we launched the Patreon, I remember this conversation with Tanner we had. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I get it. I totally agree. Like, we don't have to do this forever. And that's not even the plan. And it wasn't forever. But for the time, it was really cool. And it fostered a real deep sense of community that we don't have anymore, at least to that degree. And we never will. But that's not even that's no one's fault. I mean, the only reason that even happened in the first place was because of COVID. Like, if there was no COVID at the time, we never would have been that deep of a core community. Which is fine. We we made the best of a bad situation worldwide. And we helped a lot of people out. We got a lot of very nice DMs.
Shout out to COVID, yeah.
From people who like really need social interaction and just were starved for it. That's one thing, by the way. I was very lucky. In this sense, I'm very lucky. I can happily not talk to another human being for 5 days straight and be totally fine. But for most people, that's like torturous, like insane.
Oh,
so when they weren't allowed to go out or work or see other people anymore, they were really struggling. And then when we had, our weekly hangouts or whatever, that helped a lot of people out, which I was surprised by, but it's just because I didn't see it coming. It's not because I didn't know that I was just surprised. Like, I remember getting those messages, and I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. That would suck for most people. I'm glad we could help.
Yeah, I didn't have that issue either, but there were a lot of people that did. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're also married and shit too, you know?
Yeah, I have someone to talk to. I have a whore. I have a built-in whore.
A whore, yeah. You have a stay-at-home whore, yeah. Shout out to Sierra. Yeah, that was very cool. But then that brought its own set of challenges. A couple people, you know, blurring the lines a bit, which we won't get into too much, but I think we've optimized our approach to that kind of thing. But yeah, that was, I guess, the next era. And then after that was the episode 100 celebration. That's when we got our website kicking off. I went full-time. How long until I went full-time did you go full-time? It was like not long, right? It was like 2 months.
It was a few months. It was a few months.
Really?
Because I think that episode, I want to say that was in January, and I think you had quit in December. Because I think, didn't you quit
December,
around...
100%.
Yeah, because I think you would quit around Christmas break.
December.
Like you worked out something where you got vacation and then you quit right after or something.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the move. That's what people do.
I gave
use
them
that
2
vacation
weeks,
time. Yeah.
but yeah, I used the vacation time for sure.
Power move for sure.
Yeah.
And then I had I had not even thought about. Well, I had thought about like, oh, that'd be cool, but like whatever, I'm not going to. And then saw how much in donations we got. And people that were like, why don't you just quit too? And I was like, well, settle down. Let's relax.
We got like $12,000 to $15,000 on episode 101 in an evening. It was fucking outrageous. Much? Yes, because we got more than $7,000, I think in like actual PayPal donations, and then we got a fuck ton of gifted subs and bits. We got a lot of money, dude. Yeah, it was insane. True. I told my parents the next day and they like didn't believe me. I was like, I'll fucking show you guys. And they were just ecstatic for me, which was cool. Yeah. Shout out to my parents.
Shout out to that bitch mother, yeah.
Yeah, stupid bitch. Anyway.
And then, yeah, I think you being off kind of got me jealous. At the time, my work had been just like pissing me off, getting annoying. And
it was kind of a dead-end job, like, you had said, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's a small business, so you're never going to make that much money. Like, they should have been paying me probably $4 an hour more at least than I was making, but it's like, no point in even asking for it because they wouldn't be able to afford it. They'd just be like, we can't give it to you, sorry. So it's like, all right. And it was just getting fucking tiring. Dealing with people during COVID was annoying. Dealing with all the grumpy old ass men always yelling at you about something. I'm like, dude, I don't fucking care. Just go fall off the curb and break your hip, and I don't care, man. You're being an asshole. You know?
Yeah.
It just got old.
Do that to you.
Yeah, it just got old real fast. Also, like, the people working there was different. A lot of the people that I had been closer with had left over the years. There was really only like probably two people left that I was actually like really close with, whereas, you know, a few years before that it had been way more than that. But people had moved on. I mean, like Ben, did you even know that Ben used to work there?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, Ben worked there through college.
Shout out to Ben.
For like 2 or 3 years, Ben and I worked together. That was dope. I think I really took that for granted, by the way. I didn't realize how cool that was at the time, like working with your best friend pretty much.
Yeah, but that would be very
We had
cool.
kind of opposite schedules. We didn't actually get to work together that often, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, so I didn't really think about it, but then once you left and you were like doing shit during the day and you'd be like messaging me on Instagram, I'd be like, this is fucking annoying. I don't want to be here right now.
I got
People
a lot done during that time.
I remember I was at work, I think when I want to say Manscaped contacted us during the time frame from you quitting your job and being full-time to me leaving the job. I want to say it was. Regardless, I was still at my job when I remember you sent the message that like, dude, I just got like a DM from Manscaped asking us for our like analytics and shit because they want to like do a deal with us. I was like, oh shit, what the hell? And I feel like it was during that little time frame right there. Maybe not.
I think it was later, but maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, it couldn't have been too much later because I had quit a couple months later. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after a few months, I was like, this is dumb. I'm going to take a leave of absence, told them 60 days.
Little Sabat.
Yeah, I was like, I'll let you know. I'm either quitting or I'm not. And then when it got closer to 60 days, I was like, yeah. They started like texting me like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't know yet. I'll let you know at 60 days. And it got there. I'm like, yeah. I'm going to bring in my...
I farted.
I think we all heard. I think you shit your chair, actually.
No, it's dry.
You shit that little chair. But yeah, and then I was like, all right, well, yeah, I'm just going to leave. See you guys. I went in, cleaned out my locker, and I was done. So I think I only lasted... I think it was March 15th.
It was not long after.
It was March 15th, yeah. I remember. Something like that.
There you go. Yeah.
So 2 months, basically. Did not last long at all.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't doing this. I'm done. I'm bored.
Yep. And that is when we were able to start doing the podcast soon after that switch. We were like, we don't need to be doing these podcasts so late anymore.
Yeah, because at that point, we were already getting less live viewers because COVID was over and people are working and sleeping again.
Yes. Yeah. And getting ready for work the next day. Yeah, exactly. So then we eventually made the switch to the afternoon podcasts, which I think was one of the best things we've done in terms of quality of content. Because before that switch permanently happened, we had done a couple in the afternoon and we always fucking loved it, dude. Yeah. Every time an afternoon podcast would end, we'd be in voice together once the stream ends, being like, oh my God, we're done for the day. Holy shit. I can do whatever now. Yeah, I'm fucking done. And we just loved it.
Yeah.
And we realized like we should just do every podcast in the afternoon because live viewers don't matter anymore anyway. Because like you just said, everyone's back at work regardless. And maybe we'll get a couple of Europeans who are up at night for them or whatever.
Because we had a lot of Euro
which was another
frogs.
Thing. Yeah, a lot of Euro frogs. But the main thing is like we have so much more energy in the afternoon. You know, doing a podcast at 12 o'clock, it just actually produces better content because we're doing a podcast fresh, early. We have all of our energy. You know, we're not in
Shout
a
out
fucking
to energy.
Shout out to energy. We're not in a shout out to ATP. We're not in a fucking food coma from dinner. If we didn't sleep well the night before, it's not nearly as big of a deal at 12 p.m. as it is at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
When I actually want to go to sleep and I literally could fall asleep right now, you know? So the quality of the episodes got way better when we made that switch, and the quality of life for us went up tremendously too.
Yeah.
That was really
that was the
fucking
best
good
for us.
And then for you, like you could go out to dinner with Sierra or go to some Ashley's dumb fucking parties whenever.
Yeah,
and you wouldn't
Ashley's
have to like
parties.
worry about it, you know? So that was another thing too. That was cool. And then, from there, I don't know, the website got finished. That was big. We did a couple merch launches, which went not as well as I expected, but well enough. We profited. But it was an experience. It was fun.
The first one went for
cool.
sure very well. I think we probably did just order a little bit too much, or
we ordered too much. That was the thing. Yeah, we ordered too much. There was too big of a surplus. But it was a cool experience learning how to do that, and you know, like going to meet the guy and looking at sweatshirts. That was like fun. I felt like a Borpa businessman, you know. And we did make some money on that. Just I don't think we did as well as I expected to be honest. But of course that's going to happen. That was our first time. We just over-ordered, like you said. We ordered too many things. But then from there, then it was kind of business as usual for quite a while. We hit like 1,000 YouTube subs. Now we're at 3K. And then it was just an analytics game. We got contacted by Blue Wire at some point in this time, which is our biggest ad revenue source right now besides Manscaped. Which is a tremendous boon to our income. Huge, even more so now. But even at the time, that was like a lot of money. Yeah, Blue Wire. It was a lot of money for no extra work. That was a really fucking good deal, and I'm very glad we're on their network now. Shout out to Blue Wire. And then, you know, we kept that Manscaped relationship really good. We had a couple advertisers in between these times, obviously, but our relationship with Manscaped is fantastic. Damascus patrons know that. We are making a lot of money on that now. And shout out to you guys for actually using promo code Dropshot for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com for keeping that relationship alive. That's going very well.
Yeah.
I would say those were the next two kind of big things that happened in the podcast history. And then from there, it's, I don't know. I don't think I'm missing any other big kind of things.
No, we did some Patreon overhauls. We realized doing 7 bonus episodes for Damascus was too much and just not worth it.
Yep.
A lot of people didn't listen to all of them. Once we changed it, people realized they didn't care. Because also now, I don't think, by the way, since we've made that change back to 5 episodes for Damascus, I don't think we've done an episode under 90 minutes either. Whereas like before, a lot of the episodes would be hour, like on the dot, hour and 5. I mean, we've done plenty of bonus episodes that are 2 hours each. So they really are getting the same minutes worth of content, just less episodes in general. And it's way better for us. Way better. Especially like January, the state Warzone 2 was in. What the fuck would we have done 2 more episodes on?
I know.
I mean, it would have been it would have been virtually impossible. One of those episodes would have been about Tarkov or some other game for sure.
Oh, 100%.
It just would have
had to have been.
Yeah. So, that's been the best thing. And yeah, we did quite a few. We've done probably 3 Patreon overhauls. I don't think we'll do 3. One. There is not I never even think about it anymore because I think it's just solid where it's at.
I agree. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that.
We would make changes, and then like a few months later, you'd be like, shit, I wish we didn't do this. We haven't had that thought once since we've made this last overhaul from, God, when did we do that? Last summer, maybe? Sometime during Caldera.
Fairly recently.
It was during Caldera, though, obviously, when the game was shit. We're like, listen, you guys don't want 5 COD episodes on Caldera anyways, right? This is a miserable game, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that made it better for us,
decision.
and
for you guys, I think.
Patrons since actually too, because the ad-free. A lot of people love the ad-free and early access.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was fairly recent. Where it occurred to us we should just do ad-free episodes on our Patreon. So yeah, we downsized from 7 to 5 total. And that was better for literally everyone because, like Tanner just said, and now it's proven, the number of minutes of bonus content did not drop at all from going from 7 to 5, but the investment of our time dramatically dropped. So that was really good. And the quality of the bonus episodes is way fucking better now. So that was a great little overhaul we did.
Yes.
Yeah. And
same hours of content for them, less rendering and shit for us.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. And I think the quality of the bonus episodes dramatically increased when we went to 5 from 7 because we could dial in on a topic more and we'd have more enthusiasm and be less fucking like tired and fucking annoyed. So that was a really good change. And then the bonus, the ad-free and early access was a big one as well. That was another thing that I think was really good. And I agree with you. You're right. Since we did our latest overhaul, I haven't thought once about anything that we should change with the Patreon. I think it's in a fantastic state right now. 5 bonus eps a month is perfect. Yeah. The ad-free early access is like really convenient for us to do. And you guys clearly love it.
That's been easy to do. Yeah.
You've said as much, and it's very easy for us to do as well. So it's like a really, really nice thing. The only thing with Patreon right now that some people have expressed a desire for that will not be happening is they wish there was an early access ad-free video edition of the podcast on Patreon. Because right now, they're audio only ad-free early access. And that's just not happening. That would take way too long. It would be an actual other 90... between us rendering it and also us uploading it and also YouTube processing it, it would be another minimum 2 hours before it hit early access. And that's 2 hours where we wouldn't be able to like do anything with our computers. So to game basically. So that's not happening anytime soon. And then I would also have to re-render it the next day with the teaser, the intro, and ads in it. And it's just not happening.
It just feel like you doing the same thing twice, essentially.
Basically. But it would be like I add literally 3 minutes of extra video content and then I have to re-render and re-upload the whole fucking thing. It just doesn't seem worth it. And not enough of you care to justify it anyway. So that's the only thing with respect to the Patreon that not everyone's happy about. And I get it, but sorry, not happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
But anyway, that I'm glad you mentioned the overhaul because that's been going very well. So yeah, overall, I feel like the podcast is in a super, super, super giga solid state. Mm-hmm. And the only thing I would want to change is getting more eyeballs on it. That's like the only thing I want right now. I don't feel like anything's totally out of whack.
No.
There are some optimizations to make on YouTube. Maybe a couple on Patreon, but I can't think of any. Maybe a couple with the website. But never before have we been as like set up and ready to grow as we are right now, I think.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's been 3 years.
Yep, I agree.
Good 3 years. Okay, so that's kind of a little history lesson. I guess we can answer a couple little live questions. What do you think, Tanner?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, let us know. We have a COD question I posted here, yeah.
Yeah, we got a question from Ash Little. I would love for you to interpret this because I read it and I don't know what they're asking. So why don't you take a crack at it?
Ash, we may need to reword this, buddy. It says, question, COD has to preference a strongest class. For you, best game preferences. One, Ash, can we reword
English
this,
better
buddy?
Be the fourth language you learn.
Ash,
holy
come
shit!
On, let's fix this. For you, best game preferences: 1 SMG, 2 assault, 3 snipe. I think he's just asking
what do you think this means?
What I don't know if he's asking what class we prefer the most or what class we like, or like what the best class is or what we like the most.
I think he's asking, COD prefers to have one of these 3 things be the strongest. What do you think that should be? Is that what he's asking?
Ash, let us know, man. I know you're here right now. You just sent a message.
And once again, Ash, you better be deeply intoxicated or near an overdose on some prescription pharmaceutical grade drugs, or English was the 8th language you learned. Otherwise, this is unacceptable. So I'm going to answer what I think you're asking, and I'm going to reword your question to what I think you were asking. COD prefers one of the following 3 classes of weapons categories to be the strongest. For you, which would you prefer be the strongest type of weapon in a COD game, provided COD is in fact going to tailor one of these 3 things to being the strongest? SMG, ARs, or snipers? I would say if COD is going to make one of those 3 categories the strongest overall, ARs should be the best performing gun in general.
Yeah.
The reason for that is I think that is the core of an FPS game. Not even just a Call of Duty game, but the core of an FPS game is using a fully automatic assault rifle to kill other people.
Assault rifles,
I think sniping is very cool and it should have a place. Likewise, SMGs are very cool and they should have a place. But I think at the core of your game, it should be assault rifles that are, in general, the best. And if you wanted to specialize in some capacity, you could use an SMG if you're a very up-close, inside someone's ass player. But they're not the strongest in general. Rather, SMGs are just specialized to be strongest for a particular player with a particular playstyle. And I think snipers should exist in the same vein. They are the strongest for a particular player in a particular playstyle, but ARs in general for the average player, I think should be the best weapons. I think that's what you were asking, and that would be my answer.
Yeah, so he reworded it in chat and he said, game preference, one class to be the best ever. So what would I guess we prefer to be the best ever? Still doesn't make the most sense, but I'll go with that.
Okay, that's better.
What we prefer to, it should, yeah, I mean, it should just always be assault rifles because you can't balance SMGs to be good at range, or at that point it's just an AR anyways. And you can't make a sniper be good up close, or it's just a broken gun at that point anyway. So yeah, it's just,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like all of
semi-auto sniper in BO4.
I feel like most of like the classic, most used, loved guns in FPS games are just normally ARs, you know? Because they have a usage for everything, for every scenario pretty much. They're good up close, they're great at medium range, they're good at long range. No other weapon class can do all of those things because that's just the way it is. That's the way they are in real life. That's the way they make them in games. So, of course, ARs should be the best. Snipers need to be like fun, but they're not fun right now in Warzone 2 at all, so we'll see what they do about that.
I think snipers should be better at long range than ARs, and I think SMGs should be better than ARs inside of 10 meters, maybe 15. But if you have to go into a game mode and you don't know what's going to happen, an AR should be your best bet. An AR should be the gun where you're like, I don't know, I might see someone at 2 meters or 100. I want a gun that can do everything, like at least competently. I'm picking an AR. That's how the game should be balanced. And I think, in general, COD has done a pretty good job of balancing that way. So
yeah.
Next one, Biggie Smalls. To cut down on AI in Warzone, do you think changing the AI in the strongholds to a few hostages you have to keep alive? No. Before I finish, but I'll finish anyway.
That's where I'm at.
To keep alive for 2 to 3 minutes, people would know you're doing the stronghold, so would try and kill. Can any of you write today? Holy shit, man. Oh, your hostages. Okay, yeah, got it. Still not the best wording, Biggie Smalls, and I expect better of you. I know English is your first language, pig. No, this is entirely too cute. No. So should the AI in strongholds have hostages that you have to keep alive for 2 to 3 minutes? I don't even know what that means, because until you get there, they have the hostages. And then when you get to the stronghold, they say, okay, in 2 minutes, I'm going to kill the hostages. Like, they're either not going to kill the hostages at all, or they're going to kill them before you even hit the stronghold.
I think it's basically trying to say you kill a few AI, and instead of reinforcing with AI, you just have to hold it for a few minutes from other players coming in. Some way like that.
I hate all of it, and no. My answer to you is no, Biggie.
My biggest thing there is the timer. You're just time gating the ability to get a loadout, which we don't need in the game. So
that's another good point that I didn't.
Even though the AI is annoying, no AI that shoots you, you're defending versus other players in the match. Yeah. I mean, I guess it would create more fights, people pushing the strongholds and trying to fight over it, I guess.
So you have to hold a stronghold for 2 minutes and people know you're holding it. And then at the end of the timer, you get the
It's an interesting idea, because it would maybe make for more early PvP if people know you're there, but overall, I don't think it's worth it.
It's early PvP where neither team has a loadout, which I want to cut down on in Warzone. But I see what you're going for. But no. There are better ways to cut down on AI in Warzone. Here's one of them. Take out strongholds completely. But provided they won't get rid of strongholds, which you're right, they won't. How could strongholds be better? Again, I think the biggest thing, honestly, is they shouldn't reinforce out of helicopters for the rest of the game. Like, there should be AI in a stronghold. The first team there kills them all, gets their loadout, and then Activision wants it such that, and I'm probably okay with this, once that first team to get the loadout leaves, other teams should be able to get the loadout. So we need some mechanic where there's another challenge so that we can continue giving out loadouts at this stronghold to different teams. Fine, but it doesn't need to be AI coming in on choppers. I think they could come in from an underground bunker inside of each stronghold that you can't get into, but they funnel out of instead of coming out of choppers. And then you would have way less AI on the map and outside. Because if they come in on a chopper, obviously, they're first of all, there's a chopper, and I don't know if that chopper is a player or AI because the icons are the same. That's a problem. But also, once the AI lands out of the chopper, they run into the stronghold, kind of. But if there's people around, they won't run into the stronghold. They'll just start shooting. And that is a problem as well. But if they reinforce from underneath, so in some underground area underneath each stronghold, that would get rid of both of those problems. I think
they'd be better off just doing something. I guess there's AI to start because they want AI in the game so bad. And instead of reinforcing, do something like, this is what I said kind of early on. Another team, the second team and all the other teams after have to do something else. Like the second team has to defuse a bomb, but it takes like a minute to defuse it. So one guy has to press F and sit there for 1 minute for the bomb to defuse before you can get your loadout or something. Something to time gate it so they have to do something rather than just showing up and getting a free loadout. Because obviously you can't let one team clear and then 5 other teams just come after and grab their loadout. That's not fair either. Ooh. They have to do something where they fight someone. Something has to be done. Like anything like a mini nuke contract, go grab this item in the house, put this together. I don't know, something. Just, you obviously can't just grab it, and we shouldn't have AI coming back constantly.
Here's an idea. First team to get to a stronghold completes it the same way they do now. They kill the AI, they defuse the bomb that the AI planted and set a timer on in their own house to blow up their own house for a reason that makes no sense. I still don't understand why that's the fucking thing, but whatever, fine. Keep that the same. Once that happens, the next team that gets there, instead of defusing a bomb and it takes 10 seconds or whatever, they go to like a sentry array, just some other random object inside the stronghold. And you have to hold F for 30 seconds or 45 or a minute, whatever, like Tanner just said. And what that's doing is you're hacking the UAV sweep that the first team to conquer the stronghold gets to take over the UAV sweep and give it to your team. And once that's done, you also get access to the loadout. And while you're doing that, maybe the team that captured the stronghold first gets a little notey that says, enemies hacking your UAV sweeps alert. And then so you'll know someone's there trying to take your stronghold, and they'll get the UAV sweeps instead of you from that stronghold once they're done with the hack, and they'll get loadouts. But you get like notified that it's happening. And that way there's no more AI, but you're also time gating it and making them do something like you said. I think that would be a better solution as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that. The only thing is they'd put a banner across my screen in the middle of my reticle for 30 seconds saying that someone is taking your stronghold and you're about to lose your UAV sweep. That would be the worst part of that, of course. Yeah, I mean, just literally almost anything else other than AI constantly reinforcing. Because I think it's pretty much been proven at this point that the AI is causing frame rate dips in Warzone. Like, everyone's frames drop when the AI starts coming in when the stronghold's open. And when you're at a stronghold and more AI starts coming in after you clear it, FPS dips again. So it's like your game, you can't figure out how to handle it. Just do something else so they stop reinforcing the entire fucking game. It's unnecessary. It's just so unnecessary.
Yeah.
Do anything to just time gate it so the second team has to do something for 60 seconds and 90 seconds rather than just letting just constantly having AI come in. That's the biggest thing. Do anything.
Especially
anything else.
on choppers. Like, that's so much of an FPS.
And the choppers
draw.
just spawn in the middle of the sky. Yeah.
It's really dumb. Yeah, I think you're right, though. The core of it is, let's get rid of reinforcing AI in some capacity. Defuse another bomb, whatever, fine. If you want to make it not free for the second team to get there, where they can just run in and grab a loadout, that's fine, whatever. But you can accomplish that without having more AI. Yeah, for sure. So anyway. Lou, in reference to future updates, generally who is better at predicting what the devs will do, Raz or Tanner? Huh. That's an interesting one. What are your thoughts, buddy?
I don't know. I feel like lately I've had some ones that they actually did. What is the most recent one? There was something.
The loadout change.
Yeah, you didn't think perk packages. You didn't think they would ever let us have perk packages. I'm like, I think they will. That's the main one I'm thinking of.
Interesting.
Because I think you were like, no, I don't think they'll ever do it. And I'm like, I think they'll go back on their word because the game is getting fucking hate right now. But I don't know. I think it's back and forth on pretty much everything.
Well, I think the thing is, Tanner and I mostly agree most of the time on future updates. And we're right most of the time, by the way. Like, I don't know. I actually can't think of an example. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of an example. It's hard to predict anything to the patch. It's like, okay, we're going to get a small map and it's going to be fucking season 3 reloaded or whatever. Like, that's always going to be hard to do. But around this time, we'll say things like that and we'll usually be right.
Yeah.
But we don't disagree about as much as often as people think we do. And I think the reason for that is that when we do disagree, you actually catalog it in your brain. Whereas when we do agree, it's not an event. So you don't remember that we agreed about it. So then the thing happens and then you forgot that we both predicted it or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there are things that we're both wrong on. Like, we were both confident they would add in another way to unlock the M13. To this day, I cannot believe the only way to get the M13 was to buy the bundle or play DMZ. That's insane. But no one ended up caring because the gun wasn't good. If the gun had been broken, then everyone would be like, this is fucking bullshit.
True.
Literally, just because it wasn't overpowered in Warzone, no one cared that's the case. But that's a bullshit way to add in a new gun, and it should have got a bunch of backlash, but no one cared because the gun wasn't good. That was an insane way to add a new weapon. Insane.
Yeah, I actually
and
can't
people
believe...
should be pissed about that, but no one cared.
I think they'll have a new unlock challenge once season 2 drops, though.
No, I bet you won't be able to. Well, there'd have to be some way to unlock the M13, you would imagine, or they
could leave the chemist in, I guess. Yeah, maybe they'll just do that, actually.
Because there's going to be another gun they add in.
A way to unlock it. Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it's literally just buying it. Who knows? That's what I'm saying. We don't know. That's insane.
Well, in Warzone 1, that's how they did it. Like, the Growl, you had to get, 5 billion headshots with an FAL in multiplayer using a VLK on shipment. But then once that season ended, oh, no.
Yeah, but that was they let you do it in multiplayer or Warzone. This was just an unlock in DMZ. There's no other way to get it.
Yeah, I know. This one was insane. But I mean, I'm sorry. I'm misremembering. Okay. In Warzone 1, it would be get to tier 70 of the battle pass and you'll unlock the Growl. Once the season ends, since you can't get tier 70 in season 2 anymore, since it's season 3 now, they would introduce a multiplayer / Warzone challenge to unlock the gun. So but in this case with DMZ, if the chemist is still going to exist, you probably are still going to have to unlock it the same way, actually. It's still going to be kill the chemist and extract the M13 or whatever.
Yeah, but they'll add a new gun in with season 2. So how are you going to get that one? Are they going to also do another DMZ unlock that a different boss has or something? That's what's
probably
weird. That's what's weird.
Yeah, it is weird, but
it's still insane.
I think so. It's still insane that that's the only way to get the M13 is to play DMZ. Yeah, I can't believe it. But I have the M13, by the way.
I hope they
and you
buff
guys
the
don't.
shit out of it, and it's the most broken gun in Season 2, and then everyone becomes pissed because they can't get it.
Yeah,
That'd
that's
be great.
Yeah, likely. Yeah, it's possible. So, anyway, moving on. Geno, DMZ improvement thoughts. Insured slot gun has to be bought with the in-game cash, and attachments have to also be bought. If you die and it gets taken out of rain, it's gone for good, like Tarkov.
They need to do so many things, I don't even know where to start, actually.
This also requires...
We had thought this early on about the weapon and attachments, though, because when we had first heard about insured slots, we're like, well, there's no way they're just going to let you put whatever attachments you want on your gun and bring it in, right? Surely, and of course that's the case. You shouldn't be able to put attachments on it. You should have to use that cash to buy attachments or something, and they should be fucking expensive. Like if in the average DMZ raid you're extracting with say 50,000 cash, putting on any given optic onto your gun should cost 75 or 100,000 cash. Like it should actually be hard to build your guns out, I think. Because it's just so stupid that you have the insured slots to kit out whatever gun you want and you just get it back every single time. But
yeah,
I mean, so many other things
6
that have to
hours
change
or
for that,
whatever.
as we've said. Add some sort of player-to-player flea market. Make it so items have a usage besides directly for tasks or just converting it into cash. Because in Tarkov, you can take it out of raid, you can sell it for cash, you can take it out of the raid, turn it in for some quest that you may have. You can take it out of raid and hold on to it to barter for another item. You can take it out of raid, instead of selling it to a trader, you can sell it on a flea market to another player because maybe it sells for more money on there for some reason because they need it to level up their hideout. It just needs anything you can think of DMZ needs from my perspective. It's just lacking almost everything. It's lacking any sort of substance whatsoever, pretty much.
Yeah, it's lacking depth. Yeah, exactly. Like this would help Geno, but this change would also require a tremendous amount of infrastructure. So, insured slot gun has to be bought with the in-game cash. Okay. So now we have to be able to take cash out of the raid, which we can't do right now because it just gets converted to XP. So there's one big overhaul of DMZ that has to happen that is implied in your recommendation. And attachments have to also be bought. From whom? Okay, cool. So now we're adding in-game traders or in-game vendors of some kind that exist out of raid. Like, okay, I agree that we should do both of those things, but this is like a huge undertaking that Activision would have to do to make this possible. So yeah, I think that would be a DMZ improvement, but it's not merely having to buy the gun and having to buy attachments for it. You're asking for out of raid traders and an out of game economy because I can actually take cash out of my raid. So that's like, these are huge asks. So yes, we agree. We've been saying that, but that's a lot harder than it sounds is the point. And if it gets taken, it's gone for good like Tarkov. Yes. Yeah. Insurance should be, if you die and no one picks it up, you get it back. Not if you die, you get it back irrespective of what happens to it. Like Tarkov. Yes. For sure. So Ash Little, another question. I fucking hate progressing every gun in a class to get gold, etc. Okay. What do you think about progressing all guns individually all the way to max? I can't live on the game all day. Okay, so
Yeah, what?
You didn't have to do anything else to get a gun gold, but you did have to do things to get a gun platinum and to get it polyatomic and to get it Orion, which I have, by the way, and you don't. I have Orion the camo.
I have it as well. God, doesn't it feel good having it?
It feels fantastic having the camo that's called Orion in the video game Modern Warfare 2 that I in fact have and you listening don't have. And Ash, you don't have Orion and I do have Orion, just to point that out. Yes, I think... Well, obviously there should be a mastery camo where you have to get everything gold before you unlock it. So you shouldn't be able to get like Orion on just one gun. I don't like that idea. No. So no, actually no, I just disagree with you. Where I do agree with you, however, is that I should be able to unlock every attachment for a gun using only that gun. I think they went a little too crazy where the best grip for the RAL requires you to get the AK-74U to level 12 to unlock the PP-19, which you get to level 19 to unlock the fucking some other weapon platform that you have to get to level 6 to unlock that grip that you can apply universally to all guns, which happens to be the best RAL grip. That is absurd. It's absurd that there are attachments where, I'm not kidding, by the way, there are attachments where you have to do that. Like there exists many of them, but for example, a grip where you have to get a gun to a certain level to unlock a new weapon platform, and then using that weapon, you have to get the gun to this level to unlock that attachment. That is fucking insane. For a third unrelated gun, some attachment, that's fucking insane. That is where I will agree with you. But in terms of camos, no. I think you should be able to get a gun gold without using any other guns, which is how it works now, by the way. But you shouldn't have to use other guns to get all the attachments for a particular gun. And that has been a tremendous source of confusion, probably to this day, for many casual players. And this isn't a problem for me because I have Orion and you don't have Orion, the weapon camo in MW2, and Warzone 2.0, the camo, the mastery camo Orion. But that's because, you know, I fucking play Call of Duty all the time. But for like a casual, if they want to get best in slot like underbarrel and they have to level 3 guns that are unrelated, that are in different weapon categories to do it, that's absurd.
Yeah, what was it?
And we told you guys this, by the way.
And they act like they streamline this process. They use that word. They've streamlined like the weapon unlocks.
The word streamline, yeah, and synergy.
And I think early on, I think it was proven it was about you have to level up 40 guns, 40 guns to X level. Most of them, it's like you have to level to at least 7 or 9 to unlock like every attachment for the M4 that was in the game on launch.
Yeah.
And, you know, outrageous. That's actually now we've learned to realize that I guess you don't have to do that since, you know, there are 7 different foregrips that do literally the exact same thing pretty much.
Yeah.
So I guess it didn't matter at all. They just didn't need all those attachments in there. But I can't believe they said they literally said we've streamlined the weapon leveling process. Holy fuck. They love making the dumbest, most insane change. Infinity Ward is they, by the way. And then acting like it was such a smart decision, don't they? Oh my god.
Yeah, they sure do.
It's insane.
That's the thing with iDub, is like the weapon platform, the existence of weapon platforms is really cool. They should have just stopped there. Like if you wanted to use an AK-74U, you had to get an AK-47 to level 13, and then you unlock an AK-74U. That's a cool idea, and it's intuitive enough. But if I wanted to get every single attachment for an AK-47, that should be the only gun I have to use to do so. And it's insane that it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and then like when it came to like scopes, it's like the best like red dot that everyone liked. You had to use like the Expedite 12 and get it to level 15 or something, level 13.
Which is a gun I'll never put any
And I'm like, okay,
anyway.
I'm going for the camo. I'm not doing the shotgun category until like last. So that sucks. I guess I just won't ever use this attachment because I'm not going to go out of my way just to unlock that. Like I'm just doing, I'm doing category by category. Let me just use the optics that I unlock from that gun. So yeah, it was insane. But obviously, like what you said, you shouldn't be able to like level something up to max and like get Orion on one gun. There obviously has to be, like, even if they were to do that, like get platinum or poly, there has to be some camo in the game that you have to do every single challenge for in order to get, because that sets it apart from everything else. So Otherwise, it'd be the camos would actually just be like kind of useless, have no meaning.
Yeah, I agree. So, next from Danielson. You guys think DMZ will be a part of the next Warzone iteration, or does Treyarch bail on the mode and go back to basics? That's a very interesting question.
I think if anything, they would kind of convert some sort of DMZ mode to something zombies themed, maybe. Maybe now is finally the time to do it. I think the average player, the typical COD player, would be way more interested in a mode that's similar, like some sort of open world mode that's like a expanded version of Outbreak from Cold War. So like a form of DMZ where like you load in, there's zombies around, there's some PvP as well. You have to do different quests and whatnot. I mean, they could almost make it the same thing as DMZ, make it dark, make it zombies instead of AI soldiers, and that would, I think, do way better.
I totally agree.
You could market that a lot better than you could DMZ. You can say, here's our new like open world zombies game. Be such a smart move. And I think that's what could happen. No, Treyarch won't do any sort of DMZ mode like this, I don't think. Treyarch needs to focus on making Six's COD fun again.
Which they were the last ones to do it, so if there's any hope, it's with them. I think this is an open question, and it depends on how well DMZ does for the next year or two, to be honest. I mean, we've seen, and this isn't a revelation, we've seen that Activision is willing and able, like any good company, to pivot based on which of their products are doing well. Warzone came out. They did not expect it to be as popular as it in fact was. And then once they realized how popular it was, they totally pivoted their entire business model to maximize profits based on what was the most popular product they were selling, which was Warzone. So they went from making like finished, polished games with enough maps that were bug-free and had depth and engaging multiplayer content. Well, that wasn't what was making them money anymore. So they said, oh, okay, we're just going to continue to optimize our free-to-play game and shove microtransactions down everyone's throat because people are going to be willing to play Warzone because it's free. And then we can have cool operator skins and weapon skins and sell those to people because Warzone's our most popular title. And that's what's going to make us the most money. So that's what we're going to do. So with DMZ, will they make another one? Depends how many people are playing it. I think that's the only question.
Yeah.
If it becomes really fucking popular, then of course there's going to be another DMZ. Just like there was another Warzone because Warzone was so popular. And then they'll monetize that in whatever way they see fit. We've already seen them start to monetize DMZ. There's a new faction with new faction missions that are only available to people who have actually bought Modern Warfare 2. So they're already starting to monetize DMZ in that capacity. But I think whether or not we'll see DMZ again or something similar is going to depend on how many players it has once they're seriously considering what their next Warzone iteration or whatever is going to be. But yeah, I mean, we don't know. Obviously, DMZ is more popular than I thought, but even if that's the case, how popular is that actually? I don't know. Only they do. So I just think it depends on how popular it is. But I do also agree with Tanner. I think a marriage between DMZ and zombies is absolutely the way to go, especially if it's Treyarch doing it, because zombies has not gotten a lot of love in a long time since Cold War, and that is marketable as fuck. And zombies fit in DMZ. They're AI, which is what DMZ has right now, AI soldiers. You could just make AI zombies instead, have DMZ maps be at night, or at least some of them, or sometimes, or some exclusion zones, whatever. You turn on fucking NVGs, you're killing zombies. You can bake a bunch of zombie lore into that mode.
Which is all the missions can be lore, yeah.
Exactly, which is what zombies players really like, is like the cool zombies lore and the stories about how the outbreak happened or whatever the fuck. You could easily bake that into DMZ, and then a little twisty twist is that other players are also around who could kill you. But the main focus is like the PvE, doing the missions, unlocking the lore, unlocking the content. And you can market it super well by saying Zombies is back. And also, if you guys liked DMZ and Warzone 2, that's back as well. And nothing functionally is changing for you because you're still going to be killing AI most of the time. But this time we can also market it to Zombies players. I think that is a fucking excellent idea. And even me, who's not a Zombies player, I would find DMZ way more interesting if I were killing zombies at dusk rather than killing the dog shit fucking stronghold soldiers that I have to contend with every single match of fucking Warzone. So, like, I think it's an exceptional idea.
Such a minimal change.
Exactly. Like, functionally, it's minimal, but the marketability is 1000x.
You actually just reskin the AI to zombies, and you have a way more marketable game.
Yes, literally,
it's actually just that simple. So I think I could see them doing something like that. The other thing I was going to say about the DMZ costing money for the new faction this mission, or this season, I was thinking about it because I was like, you know, they've always just marketed DMZ as a Warzone game mode, but Warzone is free to play, and they're going to make you buy Modern Warfare 2. And I've gone back, and there's a blog post from pre-season 1. Anytime they mention DMZ, they say it's part of the new Warzone experience. And now they're going back and telling you have to own the multiplayer game to play DMZ, which is part of the, quote, Warzone experience that is free to play. Absolutely insane. So that should be getting a lot of hate. Because it says right here, Warzone 2.0, this is from a Call of Duty blog from before Season 1. Warzone 2.0 will launch with a brand new experience known as DMZ. That right there, it's like, how are you telling people they have to buy the multiplayer game that costs money in order to do missions in a game mode that's supposedly under the umbrella of a game mode that's free? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's crazy that they've gone back and done that. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't affect me, but it's just fucking nuts.
Yep. Yeah, it's completely.
I should screenshot that and tag Charlie Intel and go viral. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah. Make sure you block so he doesn't steal your tweet with your screenshot, and then just type it himself with like a couple words changed and get all the clout. You don't. Yeah, that's interesting. Charlie Intel would credit you. Shout out to Charlie Intel.
Charles Intelligence. Well, they barely would. They would, but they barely would.
The minimum level of responsibility and like decency possible. Yeah. So anyway, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I guess that was all I was gonna say. Yeah. But I hope they do something with zombies. I miss Cold War Zombies, dude. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was way more fun than I ever expected to have. I won't be doing that. Wasn't that fun, but it was a lot of fun. So, anyway. Moving on.
We got some thanks to give here. It's been a little while. Let's give these thanks out.
Couple thanks, huh?
Where are we at first? Mike Z. Let me make sure this is what he gave. Mike Z did another super chat. Says, I love you guys. Can't wait for episode 400. He attached 50 United States dollars.
Holy
Mike
shit,
Z
man.
again. With the super chat. The super chat. Mike Z, thank you so much for all the support tonight, brother. We appreciate it. King, done a lot.
You're insane.
Obsidian patron.
Idiot.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah, and you're an idiot, yeah.
And an Obsidian patron, too, yeah.
And we got a couple PayPal donos. I don't know if we've gotten any more. The business PayPal logged me out, but I see a couple noties still from an hour ago. So if you've donated since then, don't know. I'm not logging back in.
Yeah.
Because it like 2 factors and makes you do something on your phone. We're just not doing it. We'll thank you next week. But Dustin O, I don't know if you wrote a message. You may have. Thank you for the 50 bones, Dustin. Dusty O,
man,
with a 50 United States dollar donation, and William L with a $30 donation. Let's fucking go, boys. Thank you guys very much for that love and support. We appreciate it.
I'm trying to pull up if there was a message attached, and my shit's not working.
I don't know why it just logged me out randomly. It's like I opened the app too many times. I don't use the app like often at all, and then it's just I'm logged out, and I don't want to.
I'm gonna try and relog in and see if there were any messages attached.
Probably should have. Thanks for coming from the pod. Appreciate it.
Yeah, okay, so William L., there was no message that I
Fuck
could
you,
see.
William.
But shout out to you, Will, and you better be from the Isle rather than the continent. Let's put it that way. You red coat dog. Thank you for the Thank you for the $30, dude. Very much appreciate that. And with no message attached, by the way, Giga Chad activities. And Dusty O, also again, no message attached that I can see. Just dropping $50, dude. He's insane. Thank you very much. $50 is a lot of money, dude. We really fucking appreciate that, brother. And I'm glad to see it. And thank you for the support. And I'm glad you're enjoying the program. Or maybe you're not, and you're just wasting money.
Yeah.
You're wasting money either way. But hopefully you're enjoying the content. And thank you very much, dude. And William, again, thank you as well.
Will L.
Mike Z, of course. Mike Zanoli Guacamole. Donating from underwater. Very much appreciate that. You're fucking nuts, dude. Lot of cash you've wasted. And you should seek help, but we appreciate it. And we will profit happily off of your mistakes. So thank you, dude. All right. Well, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah. See ya. Been 3 hours, 300
stay
eps,
humble.
3 hours. That's fine. Yeah.
300 eps. 1 hour per 100 episodes. We did it. I think this was a productive episode. We took a nice little trip down memory lane, talked about the history of the program, did some lore, answered a couple...
A lot of history enjoyers, yeah.
Yeah, answered a couple relevant to Call of Duty questions, which I thought went well as well. It was a good time. We did it, man. 300 episodes. What do you think?
I think I'm ready for 301 on Thursday.
I think I am as well. So
ready for season 2.
Right. Thank you guys very much. We got a lot more support tonight than we expected.
Yeah, thanks, boys.
Very much appreciate that for sure. Some of these funds will be going toward the YouTube overhaul. Not an overhaul, but the YouTube tidying up. We're going to add some emotes, some badges, all that good shit. And the funds from this stream will be going toward that. There will be extra funds. It's not going to cost as much as we earned today. And I'm fucking pocketing the rest of it. So thanks. Hey, thanks, dude. Obviously, there are other bills to pay. So we really appreciate the support, guys. We hope you've enjoyed the last 300 episodes as much as we have.
Have we?
You probably haven't. I've enjoyed probably 10 of them.
10 Q&As, yeah.
10 Q&As, but only the parts where we're talking about beef Wellington specifically or something. Won't be doing that, Cope. And fuck you.
Get shit on, bitch.
Yeah. You're like the guy that says like, "Oh, you're a comedian? Tell a joke." It's like, no.
Fuck you, Cope.
It has to be natural. It has to come out spontaneously. So no Cope, fuck you. No Pop, also fuck you. Oh, for the 300th episode, can you say "We Are Live" really loud like you used to? No. If I feel like it, it'll happen. Yeah. Hey, go listen to episode 101. It's still on YouTube, bitch. You can... Hey, I even give you permission to download the episode and fucking edit that part out and put it on a 16-hour loop and jerk yourself off to it. You have my express consent to do that. But don't tell me to do it again, because that's not how it works, man. Because if I'm fucking artificially just making myself do it, it's not the same, is it? It's not going to hit the same. It's not going to hit diffy like it used to. So stop. Anyways, thanks, guys, for the support. I hope you've enjoyed the last 300 episodes.
Surely.
We have some more planned. We're going to do at least one more episode. So the Dropshot will do at least 301 episodes before it sinks, before it fucking goes under. But tonight as well was a very good stream. Thank you guys once again for all of the donations and super chats and memberships and all that shit. to all of you guys. We really do, on a very serious note, very much appreciate it. You allow us to keep doing this full time, and it means a lot. So thanks to all of you guys. If you wanted to support the show some more and actually get something for it, patreon.com/thedropshot, 5 bonus eps per month. You also get ad-free episodes of the regular episodes. You get early access to the regular episodes as well through that avenue. And then we also do monthly hangouts. We do a couple other things. We offer a couple other benefits. If you wanted to see all the details on that, patreon.com/thedropshot. Starting at $5 a month for every episode ad-free and early. It's a pretty bang-up deal, and you get 3 bonus eps with that. So there's a lot of good shit there. It's the best way for you to support for yourself and for us as well. That is where we get a lot of our revenue. So we love and appreciate all of our patrons, and consider joining if you wanted more content, because every tier you get at least 3 bonus eps. Call of Duty related ones. Just go to the fucking website and read it. I outlined it clearly. Other than that, thedropshot.com, you can find links to everything there, including the Patreon. We got a Discord, a small but vibrant and extremely humble community over there. We post our schedule every week on Discord. We do that on Twitter as well, at the Dropshot Pod. You can find links to all that, our YouTube, and more. Go to thedropshot.com, peruse to your little tiny heart's content. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.